make everything fair. And then there's just a simple activity check, which is just the button that says activity check. And you press it, and that makes sure that, you are signed up and you're verifying that you want to play.
Cool. Yeah, no, I gotta make sure we get rid of that Smurf detection. I've had that problem in my subscriber tournaments. So, people freaking Smurfing cheaters. But yeah, so we started the game. We've started the draft out here.
Yep.
And this is a best of 3, right?
Yes, I believe it is a best of 3. They have the option to do best of 5, but I don't think historically anyone has wanted to play that much Dota. So
Yeah, best of 5s can be exhausting, I think is the best way to describe them.
I would imagine it being quite draining.
Yeah. It's one of those where usually if a team gets ahead 2-0, it ends anyway.
Yeah.
And
It's hard to come back, I think, mentally from that.
Yeah, it is. And so it's like, it feels like the third game usually doesn't really mean much. There's been very rare that somebody will come back. I don't know. I think overall best of 5s are they're like necessary at like major events, like TI and stuff, but aside from that, I don't think anyone really wants to play a best of 5. So we got some interesting bans, heroes I don't see picked very much at all in my bracket, the Axes and the Pudges, but the thing is, if you play a hero way better than other heroes, then it doesn't really matter unless you're at the tier 1 of Dota. Even at like a step down from that, like meaning even at like 7K, you're better off picking your best heroes rather than the best hero for the game. So
Yep, and you'll see that there's kind of, even within RD2L, little metas develop, like this Axe ban here. I don't see too many teams ban it, but I think BBTMTS here, Dark's team, has banned this, or Skip's team has banned this. Almost every game, I think they just don't like playing the hero because he's kind of annoying to play against. And then the Pangolier ban, I know that's a targeted ban for sure. I believe it's a Fire Sword is 8-0.
Gotcha.
Currently, in all of the games that they have played him, I believe, they're 8-0, 100% win rate on the Pangolier. So that is absolutely a respect ban.
Ooh.
And the Mirana as well. That's a skip targeted ban right there.
I can respect this Clinks pick. I've been spamming Clinks myself. I feel the need to learn this hero. Quite strong in the meta. We got some meta picks. I wasn't sure how meta these picks would be, but
no, you'll definitely see it. The Clinks is a skip hero here. That is
gotcha.
He's been practicing that, spamming it. He says he likes the hero. He likes laning it against a lot of the current meta offlaner. I think he runs it 1.
It's very good against Wraith King because you can dodge the stun with your strafe. And then it's pretty decent against Phoenix because you have the attack speed to kill the egg. So overall, it's just and it goes well with Crystal Maiden. So I'm liking their draft. I'm not counting. I don't. Can I say their name shorter? Can it be like?
Yeah, you got
BB?
Brightside, Skip, Vanilla. You could just call him Vanilla. Taz for the Thrills is the only one I haven't figured out how to shorten.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, overall, I'm honestly surprised we get to see an IO. That's a hard hero to play. I respect that as a team, not even as an individual, like a team strat. That hero is rough to pull off. I have a hard time pulling off that hero.
I'm surprised they actually let it through. Skip is he's in my current stack that we're doing, for NADCL, and he loves banning this hero. And I tell him, hey, not many teams can actually execute this hero. How's about we stop wasting a ban? And he doesn't ban it, and he gets picked. So
nice.
I'm sure I'll get blamed for that. But I will say this Pugna and the Morphling bans. The Pugna is targeting Brightside. He is the Pugna god currently in RD2L.
Okay.
Very dominating performances from him. He is a support player turned mid. He was picked and then forced to play core. So he's been learning it. I think he does pretty well.
That's
and
funny.
The Morph. Yeah, the Morph is, I believe, another skip hero. They may not know who is playing this Clinks, and that's why they banned it, or they could be maybe going for the Alp or something.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's cool. It's always funny to hear about the stories of the league, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy about that. He likes playing 5, I believe, 5 or 4, and he's being forced to play mid because he is one of the higher MMRs, I believe, hovering around Divine 3-4 at the moment.
Gotcha. So, is this Dire lineup? Is this a Chinese team? Are these a bunch of Chinese guys?
You think so? Looking
with
at
the IO Gyro, Wraith King lineup here. I really wasn't sure how far this league would stray from the meta, but clearly, people watch TI. Clearly, they've got the strats. So I'm curious to see how this turns out. The IO Gyro, like we saw this, at least 10 times at the main event. One of my favorite heroes,
Yeah,
Ursa.
there it is.
We got Ursa Clinks on the IKEA. I got to lean towards them just because, my hero pool is limited as is, and they've got 2 of them. So I gotta be excited about that.
I'm also a little biased towards IKEA. Skip and Brightside are both in my stack, and I got to represent EST Sunday. That's my division. So
Gotcha.
gonna take down the Monday, the current champs. Monday, I think, is 6 wins in a row. So someone's got to put them in their place,
Yeah, Polar is demanding to be freed in my chat. You're free in my chat, dude.
I don't think he'll be freed. I believe that he had a habit of jungling. I'm being PM'd, and it says the Polar was banned for always going jungle. His teams would always get mad and report him. And also just want to throw this out there. You don't need a team to sign up for RD2L. You sign up as an individual player, and then you're drafted. So just in case anyone's wondering if you needed to get a 5-stack together, none of that.
Nah, you just got to have the single motivation to show up and just put yourself out
play
there.
Dota and be available.
It's like the dating scene, If you just take that initiative, you put yourself out there, maybe somebody will draft you. I don't think that's the same thing at all, but I tried to draw that connection there. So looks like we need an offlaner, unless that's an Ursa offlane, which it could be.
I think they like playing the Clinks mid. I believe that they're going to put Skip on the mid. They kind of alternate. Skip has a few heroes he really leans towards in mid. Namely, I think he has very dominating performances on TA as a last pick hero. But since they picked the Clinks early, I'm going to say Skip's going mid and Brightside's taking this as a position 1 Ursa.
Got it.
And I believe there are 3 and 4 sometimes swap roles as well. There's not super, everyone comes in and there's the known mid players, the known carry players. But sometimes, you swap around because some people are more comfortable on other heroes, and it's just kind of how it goes.
Oh, Storm Spirit. So everything we just said is out the window.
Yep.
Offlane Ursa, safe lane Clinks, and mid Storm.
That is Skip on Storm Spirit. He was telling me, he said, hey, I've gotten really good at Storm Spirit. I was like, that's questionable, but okay.
Yeah, define good.
Yeah, define how good you think you are at Storm, but I guess we're going to find out now.
So they banned Lina, which makes sense. Lina's actually quite a good counter to Storm in the mid lane. So what's their pick? What are they going with here? All the cheese heroes are out. I feel like you can't really pick like a Huskar. You can't pick Broodmother really. So
and
we're
I
not.
don't believe they have a Brood player.
Okay, we're not going to deal with some cheese here.
I don't think so. I think we've seen pretty standard drafts here. I was going to say this Pudge ban, I think, is targeting, I get them confused, either BMTS or BBTM. I've seen one of them play Pudge very recently.
Gotcha. People were saying I think BMTS is a girl.
Okay, so clarification for that, I was PM'd. He's not a girl. Okay. He has a very high-pitched voice. So I think that's...
Wrecked! He hasn't hit puberty yet. That's fine.
Yeah. I think he's kind of young.
Okay.
There's a lot of young players sometimes in the league. My carry, I believe, is 15 and is rank 200, maybe broke 200 at this point.
Oh.
Yeah, BMTS is 16 years old. So
nice.
A lot of young skill.
Yeah, sometimes you hit puberty late, and that's fine. We're not going to judge. That's biology. That's not up to the person's control, So, I'm kidding. But last pick. Oh, we get the TA. I don't know how I feel about TA. I feel like they could put. Man, they'll probably keep Storm mid. Clinks is a hero that owns TA mid. Is all I was gonna say. I don't know how much metagaming switch lanes goes on in this tournament, but
you'll see it every so often. Brightside, especially, and Skip, they're very interchangeable as 1 and 2s. You'll sometimes if you see a Pugna, it's probably being Brightside mid. If you see a TA, it's for sure Skip mid hero. But I thought it was going to be Skip on the Clinks, and now that the Storm is picked, I would agree that you run the Clinks mid here, assuming the TA's mid, but read their minds, so unsure if they'll make the adjustments or not.
Yeah, I saw this at TI where it was who was it? It was mid 1 versus Yawar, Secret versus VGJ, and the TA was level 5 when the Clinks was level 8, so it was pretty ugly. But we'll see if they choose to make that meta adjustment.
I'm trying to figure out exactly. I had a little list of the highest MMR players on both teams. I know Dark for sure has progressed a lot in this league. From what I know, he started as a 3K player, but I believe he's Divine now.
Wow. That
Yeah,
just
they,
goes to
I mean,
show the
it's
power
advanced.
of organized Dota.
Yeah, no, really, you get a lot better. I mean, if you're a very low MR player and you're on a team, you're more than likely going to have at least a Divine and an Immortal, and it's a good place to learn, really.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What I say about learning from Dota is it's all people trying to solve the same puzzle is how I kind of view it. So if you have 5 different people on a team, especially when players are better than you, then you're naturally going to just pick up things or concepts, ways of approaching the game that you're just not gonna pick up on your own. So, but game 1 of the finals going here. We got offlane Ursa. Okay, their team name isn't even showing up. Which one is Skip? Is Radiant Skip?
Yes, Radiant
Okay.
Skip. That's
And then-
IKEA. Very
okay.
creative name.
Okay, so IKEA and
You got me there.
We'll call-
BBMTB something or other.
We'll call them the BBs. We'll call them
Yeah.
the BBs. So we got offlane Ursa for IKEA, and we got the Wisp Gyro for the safe lane of BBs. That's gonna be weird to say. And then the traditional Wraith King offlane doesn't have the Crimson Sword that I just recently got. So he's a pleb rocking only the Crimson Gauntlet, but that still looks
Nice
pretty
glove
cool.
though.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. That I think that costs a lot of money. So gotta respect the hat game going on here. Bounty runes. Got a little trade going on at the bottom, but otherwise, oh no, 3 gonna go to the Dire. They're just letting that happen. Taz, dude, man, you gotta step it up. He's just letting his clinks, soak up that stun. That's okay.
Yeah, they're not going to be too happy about that one.
Oh, misses the block mid from Dire. I think this is a matchup that matters a lot, so we'll have to see how that plays out. It's
Yeah,
gonna go right into the
I'm
Storm's
actually-
Tower.
I'm very curious to see Skip's superior. Oh, and then you start with a deny. There you go.
Yeah, that first deny, especially when it's under your tower like that, hurts a lot. But this whole like double wave. Oh, another deny. But this whole double wave thing doesn't, or like the letting the wave go into your tower like this doesn't hurt nearly as much as it did at like TI times because they removed the glyph ability. People would oftentimes glyph and keep like 2 waves under your tower, and that doesn't work
After
anymore.
I saw that video on Reddit from CCNC talking about it, all I saw just first wave glyphs in my pubs.
Yep. It's pretty crazy how that little change, like when I'm in the safe lane or even the mid lane now, it used to be that if you were like a ranged squishy hero or a hero that didn't want to CS in their tower, you couldn't let the wave push into your tower, otherwise you would just lose. So a lot of like support core duos were based on that. But now, like since they removed the glyph, it's like, nope, it's fine. Doesn't matter anymore. Because people can't dive you level 1 or 2 anymore, so... But so far, it looks like top lane's actually going really well for the Wisp Gyro, surprisingly. I feel like Crystal Maiden Ursa can be quite a strong lane, but they might get the first blood, which they do. Crystal Maiden goes down. They both have level 2, and when you're in these dual lanes, really important to capitalize on that level 2 advantage if you get it first. Because, doing the quick maths, most heroes are twice as strong level 2 as they are level 1.
I'm actually surprised. For the Thrills, I believe, is usually there 4. Like I said, I think these guys alternate a little bit.
Based on heroes?
Yeah, based on heroes, because I know that Vanilla Acoustic is the CM god. Him and Joel Warlord are the known, I believe, CM players in the league. So if you're going to pick that hero, you know that Vanilla's going to be playing it.
Invisibility.
Looks like both safe laners are doing quite well in comparison to the off laners. Things doubling up the Wraith King, and Ursa getting doubled up by the Gyro. Mid lane is actually going heavily in the favor of TA. I feel like this is a pretty even matchup on paper, but it is skill-based, meaning that if one person gets a couple denies, it can go heavily in favor of one player or the other. But Storm Spirit is probably one of the best recovering mids in this patch, and I think that's why people pick them, especially when they have not last pick. If I'm gonna get counterpicked mid, I feel like Storm's one of the best heroes, because if I end up losing my lane terribly, I'll still be able to jungle to my level 6 pretty reliably. Top lane might have a kill attempt. No, he doesn't have his clap, so on Ursa, so no way to chase him down.
And talking about skill, I believe that Skip is a higher MMR than their mid, but he's not always been a mid player. That's a bit more of a recent transition. He is notably.
I can note that struggle personally.
Yeah.
Oh, top.
In the top lane.
I barely caught the tail end of him getting the balls to the face there, but that's...
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was actually stepping up that far. It looks like he just overstepped a little bit and got caught by all the balls to the face.
Yeah, you know, if there's a way to go, that's definitely the way most guys want to go, so it's respectable that way. But this, I mean, this top lane, Io Gyro, I think, the only weakness of this duo really is the laning stage. For the most part, if this duo gets off to a crazy good start, which so far they are, it can be quite scary.
Are you surprised that he hasn't taken a point into Earthshock?
I'm a bit surprised, but maybe his idea... Oh, mid lane! I saw it! I saw it!
I missed that.
He caught a couple cute side blades on him, and Storm was going to walk for top rune because he has... Or, I don't... He doesn't even have a bottle, but he caught him with a deny side blade on the range.
Oh, wow,
creeps.
for the kill?
Yeah, for the kill. So, well played. A little bit of back and forth there. Both heroes were quite low. And so, both playing with fire there. But
and that may just be a lack of experience as an actual mid lane player.
Yeah, little things like that matter a lot. Like when I landed against TA for the first time in a while, up top, and Ursa's dead. And maybe Crystal Maiden will follow. Io has no bottle charges left, but the bounty runes are coming out, so these kills are even more impactful because they'll be able to refill that bottle. How's the salve going as well? So Gyro is just going to be healed to basically full. Creeps dying under tower. That's a disaster. They got 2 bounty runes from it. Creeps are dying under tower, so they're missing it on the Radiant. This is a disaster for top lane, and they're getting 4 bounties on Dire. But
yeah, the Phoenix is already there on the bottom lane for the runes.
Yeah, rough.
I think they would have been able to play this lane as aggressively as they probably want to if Ursa had that Earthshock over the 2 into Fury swipes right now.
I think the big deal is that he didn't level at level 1. When you're the time that you go Fury swipes, you know, our educational Ursa gamer here, might as well talk about the one hero I know how to play in this game. You use Fury swipes if it's a melee hero that you're going to reliably be able to Fury swipe whenever they go for a CS. But otherwise, you get clapped because against ranged heroes, you can get the CS, like you can walk forward to get the CS and clap the guy at the same time. So
he's actually getting gone on.
Yeah, and he still didn't level the clap. You know, it's Earthshock officially, but most players refer to it as a clap. The Io has bigger balls than the Gyro. I mean, I think the Gyro could have gone for this the whole way, but Io clearly was making the... He wants it!
Io's getting...
He has bottle charges, but... and the salve from the Gyro. Oh! And now they're diving the CM because the Io's got that salve going. Okay, this top lane...
He walked back in. He was very far out of harm's way there, and then he just kind of pathed his way back under that tower.
Yeah. It's looking pretty grim right now for the Radiant. They're losing... As far as I can tell, 2 out of 3 lanes. I mean, I guess bottom lane is going heavily in favor of the Radiant, so they are in need of this Clinks to carry them through this game.
Has a very good start. Finally hit 6.
Yeah, but he has a Crystal Maiden, so both Clinks and Storm heavily benefit from the Crystal Maiden. It used to be that like agility heroes would gain a lot more from Crystal Maiden, but now with the way they reworked mana regen, heroes like Storm actually benefit a lot from Crystal Maiden aura, and Clinks in general just has significant mana problems. So
when I saw that the Hex mana cost change, I was oh, poor Clinks.
Yeah, I mean, I've already experienced it. It's one of those where you still have to buy it, but it happened like twice when I bought it that I like ran out of mana specifically because of that. So
it reminds me of I believe the Force Staff mana change on heroes that liked building the Force Staff.
Yeah, heroes like Veno and stuff got really hurt by that because they already struggled to keep their mana pool up, and then they usually rely on items like Force Staff for survivability, and it just makes them much more situational when the item mana cost, you know, heavily affects their ability to utilize it regularly.
But these tier 1 towers are starting to get low on the Radiant side. That TA's been pressuring the mid tower quite a bit every time Storm falls back into the jungle, which is pretty much the whole time at this point.
Yeah, they're putting Jakiro mid a bit. But the nice thing for I think the Jakiro put this here is the Sentry. to ensure that he can take over the lane. Really important against TA, because otherwise there's just traps everywhere, and then any support that shows up in the lane just dies. But really important if you're a support trying to take over the mid lane against a TA that you have that sentry. Looks like they might be looking for a play on top lane from the Storm Spirit. He's going in onto the Wisp, but you can't slow a Wisp, bro. You can't... Not the target to go on when you have a Wisp duo. They do churn to the Gyro. Will they have enough damage? No... Oh, they do have the Earthshock. They're just going to... They didn't know their target. They weren't really sure which one they wanted to go on. TA TP's in, and Storm's going to go down. Losing no casualties.
It was a huge overextension from that Storm.
Yeah, that sometimes you feel a bit pressured, I guess, desperate to get plays done when you see that the enemy mid's level 8, you're level 6, you know your top lane's losing, and you're just not content with walking away with nothing, so you go for more.
They even saw the teleport rotations, and I guess they really wanted that kill. It cost them a lot.
Yeah, I think the big deal about it is that their entire kill threat is slows, the Crystal Maiden Nova, the Earthshock, as well as the Storm Spirit. And you're against IO, so the way IO works is that you get the move speed from your tether target, and a lot of people know that. Oh, the relocate, where are they? Oh, there's relocating base. Okay.
Yeah, they're just filling up.
So if IO's tethered to somebody and you slow the IO actually doesn't get slowed. So, because they just keep the move speed of the person they're tethered to. So they went on the IO with all these slows, and then...
Looks like the hero's getting gone on in the mid lane right now. TA trying to kill him. Tries to get the side blade on the deny. Actually finds it, so wow.
I was looking at top.
Yeah, Ursa dies too.
This is what happens. Both lanes that are losing. The problem here is I think Klinks needs to try to step up the pressure in the bottom lane. It's something that you don't generally want to do playing aggressively on Klinks, but when both of your other lanes are losing, you talked about the tier 1 towers under a lot of duress in both lanes, and you have to, if you're getting pressured on one part of the map, or maybe even two in this case, you have to try to create pressure on the other part. There's a DD rune top. That's pretty important that whoever can get that rune. Radiant knows it's there. TA's finishing off the tower mid most likely. Will he get the... No, deny.
Looks like CM is actually going to pick up that.
Oh, hits for over 100 damage.
Yep.
They have the fort for top. Oh, they're diving anyways. And this is what... Oh, he's got... Oh my god, he doesn't even get the deny. Oh, his ult! Oh, he could have leveled it. You have to be ready. I mean, he's still going to die. But... Oh, Wraith King goes on... Okay, Wraith King goes down bottom. Did he have his ult? Oh, he was...
He's not 6 yet.
He was so close. He's 44 XP away from his ultimate.
Both heroes there, the Ursa and the Wraith King, so close to surviving those kills.
I
want to have a look at the levels. Oh wow, TA level 11 right now.
Pretty
3 levels
scary.
ahead of the Storm.
Storm and
Desso's
TA
coming real quick.
Yeah, these heroes accelerate real fast whenever they get these leads, so it's quite a snowbally matchup in that sense. Whoever pulls ahead just accelerates really hard.
Yeah, there was a missed call down in the top lane. It looks like they're just going to back now. They wanted to get the CM, but she was a little too far behind that tier 2.
So we'll keep our eyes peeled for the Roshan when the TA has the Deso. We see a possible movement on top, but they're zooming. They're 473 move speed with those drums charges. Yeah, I mean, that is not going to be easy to catch with the Radiant lineup. Other than the Crystal Maiden W at this point in the game, there's really no stun. I mean, Storm's not going to level Vortex for a while, and it's only going to be a 1-second stun for a long period of time. So they're going to have what we call catch issues, reach issues. You know, they're going to have a hard time ever walking down this gyro with the IO tethering him at all times.
I'm curious, honestly, is this Storm picked because he has the Gold Immortal? I'm really starting to think so.
I respect picks about the hats, man. Like, you know, I have the Alpine Ursa, and so, like, when I'm in doubt, I'm like, I'm just going to pick Alpine Ursa because I'm going to be a stylish-looking cowboy, and, and nobody can question that logic, you know? At this jungle camp, Klink's going for... It is going to steal the Ancient. Get out of there, buddy. He has no mana for now. Do they have detection? No detection. He can just TP out. Doesn't matter.
So he did manage to steal a large Ancient there.
He has a medallion going at Deso of his own, so both teams will have Roche threat, but TA's is coming online sooner, so we should be aware since Gyro and Io are playing the top half of the map, and Roche is now potentially achievable. For Dire to push their limits on that.
Here for this tier 2 defense, though. It's the Gyro Wisp, and there's 3 Radiant heroes. They drop the call down. For the Thrills moves forward, but he's already popped his Enrage. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to find it, but Skip moving in on BMTS, trying to focus down the IO, and it looks like they are going to be able to actually find that double kill there. And For the Thrills doesn't even die, Enrage keeping him alive through all of that.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was in the chat that said they were going to be dying in the dead lane this game, pre-game. Maybe I have to look this up here. Somebody... where is it at? I gotta find it. IBS, I promised it. Oh, that was Skip. So he understands the dead lane. He understands the dead lane. Gyro and Wisp extending a bit too far in the dead lane there. Getting caught out.
That was much needed for them, though.
Yeah, you gotta relieve that. Like, if you are Radiant and you can't make plays bottom, like, you gotta make plays somewhere. And you already lost your mid-tier 1 tower, so that's a little hard to make plays there because none of your team can really follow you up. And you see this IO Gyro playing up in your face. You gotta do something about it. Jakiro might be in some trouble bottom. Looks like they don't see him, so he's just gonna walk away. And Klinks, he's scouting out. He can burst down this IO real fast. Crystal Main's coming in with the Nova.
Maybe? Nope,
Maybe.
No. Oh, okay. Looks
Psych!
like they're not
I was just
it.
joking.
They're looking to get this bottom tower here, though, from the Dire. They got 3 heroes down here. TA's Dassos.
They're chasing.
Yeah, it looks like Tazdude going to get gone on, and Icarus dive forward and stun from
this is okay. The dead lane. Yep.
Yeah,
Both teams own safe lane.
The Dire.
Yeah. You know, got to make sure we go along with the memes for the cast. We see IO potentially getting caught, gets frostbitten up, and he's going to go down. Gyro is in no man's land, but can Skip see him? No.
No, they didn't. I think if they had vision of that absolutely should have been a kill for them. Bottom tower is probably free though for the Dire. All the happenings top.
Will they be able to get a trade off of this? Doesn't. I mean, it looks like they're going to be finishing plenty in time on the side of BB if they want to respond to. They want to choose to respond to top, which looks like they are. They have Phoenix Egg. They have Relocate. TA's TPing as well, so they're actually committing a lot of heroes. If they can just walk away, which looks like they are, this is good. This is good. Frees up the bottom lane for somebody to get levels. Not necessarily always want your 5 to do this if you force so many reactions, but they're going to get 2 bounty runes on Radiant. Let's check out the net worths.
2-2 split, I believe, right? It was 3-1 on the first ones and then 4 for the Dire at 10 minutes. So
that was rough.
Finally secured a couple of runes.
Yeah, no, the bounty rune's a big deal. I mean, they're ahead by 4K. Probably half of that is actually bounty runes, to be honest with you. Looks like they're going to attempt to pressure mid because they forced out TPs to top lane. I like this immediate choice to go mid. Klinks takes towers quite fast. No fort on the Dire. This tower should just go down. And
Gyro's getting here, though. Drops the call down.
And they're out.
Full age, yeah.
Ursa almost has Blink. TA has Desos, so we got to be looking at this Roche once again. Like, both teams are definitely going to have their eyes on it, I expect. They're going on the Gyro. He's going to die in 1 stun. And you got to be careful against this heavy burst damage pickoff lineup.
From TA. Almost manages to burst Skip down there with the Blink. Was that the Blink reveal from the Templar Assassin?
Yeah, it was. He just got it.
Okay. They actually just tried to dust for the Thrills with the Invis rune, but it didn't connect on the dust.
Meanwhile, Jakiro's just farming bottom. He's actually working on a Yules. He's actually pretty rich for a 5 position if you compare the... I guess they're... Who's their 4? I guess he's the 4 here, based on the net worths. But he's going to get a tier 1 tower all by his lonesome here. Fort's going to come out. Maybe they'll get the deny. TA's looking. But this is space. This is astronaut Taz dude going on here in the bottom lane.
You should die, though, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, then you get the kill.
Got the tower. Got the last hit with the catapult.
I did want to say, though, if you're looking at the net worth, Klinks was pretty low. I think he was like 4 on net worth for the entirety of the laning phase, and he's not too far behind the TA anymore. So at least somebody's keeping up with that massive TA. And Gyro, though, still a bit ahead of the Storm Spirit.
And they have this Desolator on Klinks, so both teams pumping out quite a lot of damage on at least one of their cores. And Ursa Klinks is no joke in terms of how much damage it is.
Yeah, there's good burst here. I think as long as they focus the correct targets on either side, I think that the Radiant still have fight in them, even with the current net worth and level disadvantage. I think they can absolutely take a properly structured fight.
Ursa has the blink on the courier. If Dire's paying attention, they will see that blink on courier walking past that ward. in the top lane. Gyro working on that S and Y. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of the S and Y here, simply because they have a lot of single target physical damage on Radiant. So I wouldn't mind him going more like Yasha, BKB Butterfly type thing. But looks like both teams are going to be trading tier 2s, or at least like Radiant, like Dire's attempting to trade for tier 2s.
Yeah, Dire's trying for that high ground macro though.
Yeah.
Should be able to hold them off a little bit. In fact, they might have to be a little bit careful. The TP is coming in from the Dire right now.
Oh, Ursa
Getting
didn't
stunned
ult.
on the Ursa.
Enrage?
He's gonna be able to get the enrage off. He does, but it doesn't matter. He's killed. Brightside now in trouble. They do have the dust, so Brightside getting on the Sunray is on him. Call down connects, and Wisp doesn't even die for it. Although he is going back with the relocate, though. They're gonna be able to find this return kill at least.
Yeah, so I'd say, you know, worth for the Dire team there.
You know, losing 2 cores like that for a Wisp essentially.
And turn it into Roche? Yes, I like this a lot. TA, go mid or go Roche. Come on. Yeah, there you go. This is my pubs in a nutshell. I'm the Wraith I'm the Wraith King in this analogy. But they are going to group up, take the Roche, so this is really good. They force the rotations back bottom to kill the Wisp, killed 2 cores, and this is a huge momentum swing. Obviously, they're already winning this game, but with both teams having such a high reliance on Roche, with heroes like Ursa and TA, it's even more important when one gets them. Because Radiant has Roche with Ursa, and then one of the best Aegis carriers in Storm, so it's pretty huge that which team gets Roche here. Storm's going for an Orchid after his Kaya, so are they going to build any way to...
about that?
I don't think they have a way to actually kill him, so I don't particularly hate it, but at the same time, TA's almost already got a BKB, and...
He could at least use it to maybe keep the Phoenix from...
Yeah, I think if he uses it on Phoenix, it's good.
Yeah, Phoenix is still pretty far from ever having that Eul's Scepter.
Yep. I like this, you know, Dire team forcing objectives when they have the advantage. 20-minute bounty runes are coming out. Wisp is going to pick them up. Almost has that Glimmer Cape. Is going to get it from that bounty. Dude, bounty rune. Oh.
He didn't get the other one.
I know.
Only picks up 1 bounty rune.
Yep, but bottom lane, Storm is attempting to apply some split push pressure. I think they're doing this in the wrong order here. Klink's actually forced to run back to base because he has no TP. And what I mean by wrong order is I feel like Klink should be the one doing what Storm's doing. But that's okay. They're pushing the high ground already. No BKB yet on TA. It is at base. He has the gold for it, but they're not afraid.
From the SK, or the Wraith King, I mean, connecting on Taz, dude. It looks like Wraith King's not even dead yet. The Sunray keeping him alive. Supernova down. It's a pretty good Supernova. For the Thrill's trying to focus it down, but he's going to give his life up for that. This is it from Storm finishing off the Wraith King, but that's just his first life, so I don't think they stopped this tower from going down. They actually managed to get that second life. The Sunray doing a lot of damage, but Crystal Maiden's ultimate zoning him out. The buyback, though, from the Ursa. Well, at least they saved the racks, right?
Yeah, but you lost another 2k net worth. They still have Aegis. They didn't even have BKB yet there on the TA, so it's like you save racks, but I'm not feeling too good for them there on the side of IKEA.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie.
Expensive.
I went to IKEA looking for some furniture for my new place, and I was a little bit disappointed. I hope they're not like a league sponsor, because
you try their food though.
I didn't. Is that what I was missing out on?
If you're going to IKEA and you don't find any good furniture, you got to try the Swedish meatballs, man.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, I was very surprised because you hear all about IKEA, like, you know, everyone I feel like knows what IKEA is, and then I went and I was like, wow, that was underwhelming. So.
You're whelmed, but hey, I mean, I've gone there, didn't buy any. I've actually gone there once just for the food, as sad as that is.
Damn.
I really like the
You have too much time on your hands, I believe, is what you're to call
it.
Mid lane. Blinking in. Uses the BKB to kill a support.
It looks like he may be able to get 2 supports, though. That would be worth it. And does have the Meld Strike available, so yeah, Taz dude going down.
There you go.
I don't even think that Ice Path would have been in the right direction if he got it off. They blink forward onto the Phoenix, and they're actually able to pick up Phoenix off. The call down from the Gyrocopter. It looks like they're taking a pretty good fight as the TA doesn't have BKB, but no, they don't have the manpower to actually take that.
Yeah, he still had
Aegis. Looked good for a second. Yeah, it looked good for a second, but with the BKB down, but they just weren't able to make anything of that.
That's the power of Phoenix as a support hero. If you don't focus the Phoenix, then he's going to turn the fight. So even though it's a 3k net worth Phoenix, you still have to go for them first. So I think it's correct they went for the Phoenix if they chose to go, but even then they've already lost both supports.
He actually missed most of that wave.
Nobody saw it.
The zip. I saw that.
I mean, you said he's working on his
Storm.
yeah, exactly. He's just practicing. You know, you got to make sure you understand what line those creeps walk in. Has the Orchid.
The Glimmer Cape, though, keeping them alive. They don't have vision for this.
No ult on Wraith King.
Zoning call down. They're going to back away.
They still have Aegis.
Lose melee racks, though.
Oh, they got melee, yeah. Okay, they're content. They're going to take some shrines with it, too. Got the Phoenix Sunray, like 250% value going on here because of the... Oh, the ball lightning!
Oh, the zip forward on the IO. He actually gets him. Oh, but TA blinks forward, and he's got no mana on Skip. I think he's...
Oh!
Dodges it? Not enough. And I think your boy Vanilla Acoustic is dead here. Yeah, he tries to let it go. Gets canceled nearly immediately. Oh, but For the Thrills manages to pick the gyro off, and now the Supernova comes down, a buyback from Skip. They're trying to focus down the egg, but I think he's actually going to get stunned by this. He pops the BKB, oh, he actually doesn't have a BKB, my bad. It's the Golden Immortal. Glance value, right?
Yeah, dude, it's all about the pay-to-win value.
What is this? He's actually
hit him, Clinks.
Here.
There you go. Strafe?
Clinks.
No, he doesn't need to use it.
All right, that was actually... I saw him zip in. I see gold. I think BKB. I'm like, wait a minute. There's no way he has the farm for a BKB.
He's working on it. He's got 200 gold towards his next item, so if he chooses to go BKB, he's about 3,700 gold off. Oh, we got hosted by PBD for 3,000 viewers. That's a poggers right there. Welcome, everybody, the new viewers to the stream. That's pretty hype.
Very hype.
We're just casting some RD2L Season 14 Finals bragging rights on the line.
Yep.
Game 1.
Monday-dominated league for the past 6 seasons, so... Skip, first game performance, though, currently a little underwhelming. Looks like they're getting... I believe they're getting outmaneuvered, and that Aegis was so value for them. They got a lot out of that.
Yeah, and they'll definitely be looking to get to for the next one. It's going to be up in 2 to 5 minutes. Wraith King has the Blink Blade Mail. He's going to be caught out in the bottom lane, though. He's in no man's land.
Does have reincarnation.
He wants the bounty rune. Does he get the blink away? Yes, he does. Space.
He managed to get it. Skip with the long-range zip. Getting stunned, actually, and now the turn comes from the Dire. It looks like they relocated in. Gyrocopter trying to find the kill, but the Crystal Maiden with the ult in the top of the hill there, but it gets canceled with the Orchid. Who has the Orchid? Is that Templar Assassin? It is, and now looks like Taz Dude is going to go down as well. So she's going on for a Nullifier on the Templar Assassin now that the Orchid's completed.
Yeah, and this is definitely a mid-lane showing coming from, like, in terms of one team. It doesn't feel like the Storms had tons of impact this game because he just had a rough laning stage, and his one comeback move top was shut down, and then the TA just snowballed quickly out of control. Net worth-wise, almost double of the opponent mid, and
it's an 11-0 TA right now.
Yeah, he's
at 25 minutes.
He's feeling himself.
Bad.
Oh, he could have orbited him. Oh, he wasn't ready.
What is it there? He could have actually killed that. Looks like they're gonna get this tier 3 for free here. Tries to kill the missile. They should be able to. Oh, he gets silenced by the TA, and he has no buyback.
Rip.
Looks like
that's the problem when you go Orchid from behind like this. Orchid isn't traditionally known as a snowballing item. It's known as a snowballing item, not as a comeback item. So, like, if the other guy has a BKB and you buy an Orchid, he's just going to buy an Orchid too, or a Sheepstick or something like that, and you're just going to die to him, and he doesn't die to you. So.
Oh, there's actually a blink forward from the TA. They're looking to get aggressive. The BKB is popped. Klink's trying to focus him down with Strafe, but it looks like Klink's may actually die here. The Sunray doing a ton of healing here. For the Thrills jumps in on the Ursa. Does have Enrage available. Gets the Gyro, but now the Supernova is popped, and it doesn't look like they're actually going to have anything to kill this egg. There was a buyback, though, from the Klinks, so right side is back in the game, but how do they contest this tier 3 now without the Storm? In fact, an aggressive blink forward from Whoopi on the
card's going to be up.
Yeah, he does have the reincarnation right now. They could be getting baited into this fight. Brightside looking to pick off the IO, and he does manage to get it, and now the Phoenix actually dies as well, but Orchid it up and stunned by Whoopi. Although in the mid lane, I think they lost something there, an objective.
Okay.
Wipe?
They just wiped him.
What? Just I was looking mid to see what happened.
They took the lane of Rax, so they're down 2 lanes of Rax, but it's just a 5-for-0 wipe. So maybe if they could turn this into a Roche, we've got a sign of life. But I don't like Skip's approach here. He's going for the Lincoln Sphere. I don't think you go Lincolns in this spot. I think you have to get a BKB. But you know, to each his own. This is The problem with the mid to high tier MMR gamers, for whatever reason, BKB is just not in their arsenal of items that they'll ever buy. So
It doesn't do damage, man.
It doesn't. I mean, it's 24 damage, man. It's Mithril Hammer damage.
It's not enough to make it worth. You know,
the damage per gold ratio is definitely low. But Clinks is searching for a potential kill. There's a Ghost Scepter on IO. Really like the itemization against the cores of Ursa, Storm, and Clinks. The Glimmer plus Ghost Scepter. Just gotta make sure you don't feed. That's all you gotta make sure. This is our 16-year-old that sounds like a girl, right? That's what
I believe so.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So that is that is how I've been introduced to this fine young gentleman. He was apparently either it's a meme or mistaken for a girl. I don't actually know, but all good. They're gonna set up the Roche ward. I like the objective mindset from the Phoenix. He sets up the ward and then just ignores the Roche pit. Doesn't even check it. So I take back everything I just said.
Into it.
Yeah, they just.
I was pinging it though.
Yeah, but there you go. He blinks in,
going on.
and he's gonna see that it's up. They have the control of that area. Are they ready to fight this? They got to get there soon.
I think if they don't fight it, they'll just lose the game.
I'm in agreement.
Done.
Clinks has no BKB yet on his inventory, and he also has no ultimate for another 10 seconds. But they gotta go. All the wards. Look at the dire vision. Quick. Oh, the Storm Spirit.
But he's alone. He actually gets silenced and immediately blown up. They have no counterplay now. Tries to blink in and steal the Aegis, but he actually just gets caught out.
And the offensive tip comes out from the Phoenix onto the Storm Spirit.
That's bad. Feels bad right there.
Yeah, that's feels good, man, on the Phoenix though. You know, give them, make sure they know their place after game one here. Set the tone for game two. And looks like they're just gonna march down mid to end this game.
They do de-ward the trap, but this defense is just I don't think it's happening, honestly.
It's looking grim. They're down by 15k, no buybacks. Clink's doing whatever he can, but
there's a blink. He actually just duels him in midair, and he pops the BKB trying to fight, but he can't fight into all of these heroes.
Yeah, BKB to run away doesn't feel too good.
Supernova pop, just why not? Whoopi still has the reincarnation available, so it doesn't even matter if they kill this Wraith King here.
Okay, we got one last Hail Mary. Jakiro has buyback. Storm Spirit Ursa are up. Let's go. Game time, boys. Don't zip in and get orchided again.
He's got to get the right target on this zip. Oh, okay. It doesn't look like they will. The call down is there. Stun onto the Ursa. Ursa pops the Enrage immediately. Gets orchided again. Pops the BKB here on the TA, trying to fight the Clinks, but he's actually getting quite low. Vanilla Acoustic trying for the ultimate. It looks like it's doing a decent amount of damage, but they're 4 down already. The Aegis is popped. Skip trying to focus down the Phoenix. Does manage to kill the Phoenix. The Ghost Scepter from the IO, making him untargetable. Looks like Skip will go down, and that is more than likely GG. Yep, that's called.
Prediction of the game right there. That is GG.
Yep.
And game one.
Because it could go either way, you know.
Yeah, it could go either way, but you had the balls to state that you thought Dire was going to take this one. We got game one, goes under in the books for the Dire squad. We call them BB because all the other letters
too long
to say, exactly. And what does that stand for? Do we know?
I believe. Well, one of their players is BBTM, the other player is BMTS. So I think you got BBTMTS out of that.
Was that planned, or is that just coincidence that both players have 4-letter acronym word names and they work together on IO Gyro? Like, I don't know. Sounds like, you know, they are having a little too much fun with the way they're naming themselves there.
Yeah, I have no idea. I believe Alvin Flang, that is Dark, so the team isn't even named after the captain. Those are their support and one players.
Cool. So that's game one in the books, and I'm assuming game two will be starting pretty shortly, right?
Yeah, there's usually, I think they give them about 5-ish minutes in between, just, you know, get water, refresh. I don't know. I was going to ask, when in a situation like that where the game is so close to being over, would you just tap out to save yourself? Like, would you have tried to play against Megas in a situation like that?
In a best of three,
save yourself the trouble?
In a best of three, yeah. I think I would play it out. In a best of 5, probably not. But like in a best of 3, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you go for that one last Hail Mary play. You know they're not going to end the game until all your heroes are alive, so why not just roll the dice, see what happens. They don't exactly have a mega comeback type lineup, meaning they don't have like a Kunkka or some Battle Fury hero that can push out lanes, but I don't know. might as well roll with it. You got like one more fight. You've played for 30 minutes. Play for another 40 seconds. See
Yeah.
how it goes.
And since we've got a few more viewers than we had at the start of the stream, in case anyone doesn't know what RD2L is, just wanted to reiterate a couple of the key points about the league. RD2L, what we're looking at right now, the RD2L season 14 grand finals. It's the Reddit Dota 2 league. It is a amateur league, so it's somewhere that anyone can come from any MMR and experience a semi-competitive environment. You sign up on rd2l.gg, and then you're put into a player pool depending on what division you choose. You can choose any of the Monday, Sunday, EST, PST. If you're European, we have a league for that as well. And then there's a draft day. So there's a draft, and it's balanced in the sense that the lower MR captains get pick priority. So every team usually ends up with an even spread: Immortal, Divine, followed by an Ancient, and then you get all the way down. And every player plays. So I'm not sure if I mentioned that the first time, but they are 6-player teams, and everyone has to play. So the last pick, you're never going to get permanently benched in this league. Like, you don't just sign up and you're like, the swap in player, and then you're like, okay, I'm never going to get to play. Everyone gets a fair chance to play, at least a set amount of games per the rules. It was designed that way to make it more inclusive, and you don't want to have an Archon player sign up, trying their hand for the first time, and it's like, sorry, you're too bad to play on our team.
Right on.
And so if anyone wants to sign up, just head over to rd2l.gg. Anyone's free to sign up as a player. We do always look for captains. The more captains there are, the more players that don't get cut off. If you want a captain, be sure to sign up, contact an admin on any of the discords to get vouched. And I think there may be a slight MMR floor for that, but yeah, it's an 8-week best of 2 group stage, and then you have your playoffs where the top teams from the group stage go, and that's what we're looking at right now. This is about 3 months worth of work right here.
Yeah,
they made it to the top 2 teams right here.
Yeah, and it's all about, it's the camaraderie, I feel like, is what I'm hearing. I mean, based on the chat and the things I'm not used to seeing in it, there's a lot of random, like you said, shit talking, and
exactly.
And it sounds like it seems like it's got the community aspect to it, which is pretty cool. And
there's a lot of memes, there's layers to this shit.
Yeah. I mean, that takes time. That takes work to develop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So. No, very cool. It's funny to see them like target banning each other and offensive tipping. I don't know. I think I like this. I like that. I like the atmosphere that I'm getting from these games. I think for game 2, I think Radiant here, IKEA, not only do they have to step up their furniture game, but they also have to be careful about letting these lanes get a little bit too out of control. I feel like they had 2 lanes that were just in this patch. If you have lanes go like that, you kind of have like 1 or 2 mistakes before you lose the game, and the opponent can make like 5. So it just puts you in a spot where you have a much harder game plan to execute simply because 2 lanes didn't go the way they needed to. And personally, on my little tidbit, I think that the Ursa lane went poorly simply because he doesn't have his point in Q at level 1. Against ranged heroes, you can't reliably get your Fury swipes off. You have a Crystal Maiden, so when you both get level 2, you'll be able to like have more mana to work with, so you don't mind using a couple Earth Shocks early on. And I'm just giving my little educational thing here because a lot of lanes are decided heavily if you mess up at level 1 or 2. So really important to consider on every hero what exactly you're going for at that level 1 strat. And it just snowballed pretty quick. We saw, like, because they didn't get level 2, they died, like, 3 times in lane, and then IO Gyro were diving them all over the place. So only bringing that up because it weighed such a heavy impact on how the game played out.
And I will mention that again, for anyone that didn't hear this the first time, I forgot to mention it just now, that the signups were supposed to close, I believe, tonight, but they've been extended an extra day. So they will not close until the night of the 7th. So anyone that's being exposed to the league for the first time through the stream and wants to sign up, you're not going to be like, well, there's the exposure, and by the way, you can't play. So,
by the way, see you in 3 months. Yeah.
Yep, you got a full day to think about it, look through the league, see what we do, and if you want to sign up, you got a full day from now to sign up before signups close and the drafts begin. I believe Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, somebody's saying a really good point here. They said, how can there possibly be Archon players in this league if it's people from Reddit? Isn't everyone like at least Divine?
I mean, good point. I don't know where they dig them up from.
Yeah.
I'm not, but they managed to find them.
Yeah, so it's pretty incredible. I guess these aren't the people that you normally see on Reddit. They're the people that somehow got introduced to the league and stopped by.
Yeah, you'd think if it was the Reddit league, it'd just be 5-on-5 immortals right now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I guess the Reddit's just part of the title, not exactly needed to know the understanding of what goes on in this league. Similar bans coming out this game. They do get rid of the Wraith King and the IO. I respect this idea of we just lost. Let's not lose to the same thing. Beat us with something different. So that's what IKEA is going with here.
Oh, I wanted to mention, I was racking my brain around why they would ban the Morph and the Pugna when they had already banned out the Pugna and the Morph wasn't that common of a hero.
Because they were picking Gyro.
Skip's team actually drafted the Pugna Morph to have the 2 Pugna Nether wards.
Oh.
So they were dropping double Nether wards and double, blasts and decreps. So it was like the ghetto E-Blade. They would have you'd turn into Pugna, decrep, go back to Morph and blast them because he didn't have the money for an E-Blade. It was a fantastic game to watch.
Wow. That's something else for sure. I would not have thought about that, to be honest with you.
The push was absolutely absurd. I think they were actually a little bit behind, but they just, as soon as they got that talent where you can target your allies, I believe, with the Morph.
With the Morph, level 20.
Yeah, they just started 5-manning 2 Nether wards. There was a Necro and a Willow, I think, in the game, and you just see Necro Willow dying in the back.
Yeah, Willow killed her
units away, just killing herself, trying to terrorize.
Necro would definitely kill himself with his scythe. So
he was killing himself with his heal, and because it was 2 Nether wards, so it's double the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that is one painful ability for sure when you are using high mana cost spells.
Something to point out here that we're going to be seeing in this game too. 1 player on each team has now been swapped. That's what I was talking about before, how there are 6-player teams. So now Gaff is here in place of, I can't remember who the last player was. So Gaff is here in place of Tazdude. And then I think a Fire Sword has been replaced with JMLV.
Wait, why are they getting replaced? Sorry?
It's a 6-person team. So normally, if you have a 5-stack, you have your 5 players. It's always the same 5 players. But in RD2L, it's 6-player teams. So the last pick, you don't want them to be a permanently benched player. So there's a rule where every player, if you play, because they're best of 2s, 1 player plays 1 game.
Oh, I see. So basically, we're learning the weak links of the teams here. When we whoever got booted last game, you played like crap first game 1, booted. We'll see. See you next series, players, noob. Nah, I'm kidding.
It gives everyone a chance to, fair chance to play. And then it's also interesting because from a captaining point of view, there's a lot of strategy. You play around a team's weaknesses and the team's strengths. So that's another kind of layer to it.
Yeah, that makes it even harder, actually. Yeah, you have to draft for your players. So
it's good from a captaining point of view, though. You learn a lot of interesting ways to draft around player weaknesses. So
absolutely. Yeah, excuse me, I've just had a long day. But that was, I definitely don't think many people are familiar with this substitution aspect of Dota. I don't think that's ever been really a thing. Something we see more in traditional sports. But they go for the Ursa again, and this is on the other side.
Other team, yeah. They swap sides.
Nice against the Undying. It's an Agi hero who is tanky, so he doesn't lose damage or as much HP to the Undying Decay, and he also mans up against these Undying type lanes. So I'd like to see IKEA put the Crystal Maiden +1 in this Ursa lane. Don't give this Ursa a melee hero to play against. Last game we saw the Io Gyro lane and the Ursa struggled, and I think they should look to do the same thing because Ursa just, for lack of a better description, does really well against melee heroes. So let's see. Oh, somebody did the GM command, which tells us. So blue, this is order from top to bottom. We got an Ancient 5, a Divine 4, an Ancient 5, a Legend 1, and an Ancient 2 on the Radiant. And then on Dire, we got a Divine 2, a Mortal ranked 900 or 875. We got an Ancient 5, Ancient 3, and Ancient 4. These are actually pretty high MMR players. From what I was under,
pretty good averages.
Yeah, these are solid. So it looks like the weakest player is Legend, and then both teams have all but one are at least Ancient. So that's That's pretty impressive.
I like this Weaver pickup, but I'm not sure if I've seen Brightside play this too much.
Yeah, I think Weaver fits the bill of what I was hoping for. It's a hero that not only is ranged and does like decent in landing against Ursa, but also it goes well with the Crystal Maiden Aura and the Pooj. Not a fan of this Pudge pick, I'll be honest with you. Unless it's just an immense comfort zone hero that they just, one of them's like level 17 on Dota Plus with, just because Undying does really well against Pudge early on. And then Weaver is a core who does not die to Pudge in the early to mid game. And then if IKEA wants to play this way, they can just pick 3 cores that don't die to Pudge hooks. So not a huge.
I believe this
fan
is
of
a
that,
comfort
but
pick.
yeah, it has to be, right? Because whenever I look at even like high, like professional level Dota, if there's a pick that like on paper doesn't seem great, you automatically just say comfort zone pick has to be.
Yep,
Otherwise, why would they pick
this
it?
is a not BBTM, BMTS, if that's correct, hero.
Gotcha.
Are they 100% win rate with this hero right now? I believe they have not lost a Pudge game.
Wow, that's laying down the law, setting the tone.
Yeah, I think they have 100% win rate. I think they're 6 or 7-0 with this hero, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not all in this season, but I believe that he's a very good Pudge player. I saw him play Pudge once, and it was quite good. This Arc Warden ban, that's a skip target. He went for the in the previous series, I think for the Blade Mail build.
Oh, I thought they
On
were
the
just.
Arc Warden.
I thought they just had Thompson on their team standing in. We got the Pugna Arc Warden band second round.
Yeah, you got the Blade Mail Arc Warden build from Skip did a lot of work.
There you go, another
series.
ranged hero that also doesn't die to Pudge. I like it. Stream snipers, cap it. But no, I mean it's good against Wyvern too because the Cold Embrace, if Wyvern uses it, it sets up the arrow. So surprisingly, they see an Undying and they pick 2 strength heroes. But I don't mind Centaur nearly as much because the ult is really nice against the zombie slows. So like in the middle of a fight, if things aren't going your way, you can just ulti and run away from the tomb and disengage. So that's a nice aspect of that hero here. I feel like BBTMTS has not revealed their win hero, like what hero is going to carry them this game. And I like the Storm Band because that is a hero that does carry the game. And we mentioned how it's a good pick in the 9th slot because you do well in general recovering.
Also, not too much catch there from the Dire. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm ready for a last pick.
Team here on the Radiant.
Yeah, no, they are. With the Ursa plus 2 really tanky heroes, and then the save and the Wyvern. There's a lot of HP to chew through. So IKEA, I feel like it's in their best interest to understand that it's not really reliable. They can burst all of these heroes, so they have to pick something that wants long fights. Is how I explain it. So these like Alchemist type heroes. I'm not necessarily saying I love Alchemist here, but some hero that benefits from the fight lasting longer than 5 seconds.
We're running down their timer. They're thinking about this.
Yeah, usually this ban is kind of decided at the same time you decide your pick. So, from what I've seen, most teams spend more time on this ban than they do their actual pick. Because once you decide what you're going to pick, then you ban, and then you just do it usually in quick succession. Yep, and they go for the Ember. Oh, give him the Huskar. Give it to him.
I don't.
They don't have a Huskar gamer?
I don't believe so. I think this is skip on the Mirana, Brightside on the Weaver, and I don't think that For the Thrills is going to be playing this Huskar.
What? So you think it's a Mirana mid?
Yes. Well, okay. From their previous games, that's how they've run it. Maybe For the Thrills picks it up and they, restructure their lanes and pick the mid hero here for skip.
I think there's a lot of heroes, like not just Huskar, that you can pick that do quite well against Ember. So I would like to see them adjust accordingly. But we'll see. See what they choose to do. Sometimes it's better to just do the comfort zone rather than the best pick. And so they do go for the lane dominance on the Ember. And oh no, it's an offlane Viper. Unless he goes mid on Brightside on Viper.
Maybe
you said they swap.
This is
an
offlane. Yeah, they'll swap around. I think this is probably a mid Viper. So For the Thrills is picking up the Weaver, so it's the offlane Weaver. Yeah, they may be swapping the lanes and putting Skip in the position 1 here.
Gotcha.
Unless
I feel
they
like
run the side lane Viper. What do you think about that?
No, I think Viper has to be mid. I feel like Viper in general this patch is a pretty weak hero, so I'm never too excited about the 10th pick Viper. Meaning like it's not just that it's a Viper, meaning most people don't love playing with or against Viper, but I don't think he's an all too impressive hero. So we'll have to see what Mr. Brightside's got for us in the bag. Why did he tell his team this is the hero? This is what I'm gonna
pick.
This is the 10th pick to end all 10th picks. So we'll have
Maybe
to see.
they're just thinking about it like the kite for the Ursa. You got some passives to break, I guess.
I see where it fits. I'm simply saying, like, usually when you have absolute last pick in this patch, there's like so many powerful heroes that you can just win the game by snowballing, out of control. And Viper doesn't really stand out to me as like one of those. We won the game because we picked Viper kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Just seems like you said, this patch, I don't feel he has that same kind of dominance where you can completely snowball off of it like previously. Wasn't he always kind of like a win lane, lose game type of hero?
That's what he is now, yeah. Not anymore. He isn't in that anyway. Yeah. He almost is like a survive the lane, be powerful in the mid game type hero nowadays. But I don't know. I feel like Viper just doesn't fit the meta. Is the best way I explain it. Is like that's why the hero's not seen all too often. But enough about Viper. We got game 2 of the finals. Radiant in this case has taken game 1. They were dire the first game, but they are up 1-0. There is an early smoke to get that nice deep ward in the mid lane, as well as get the ward bottom first. So they are going to see the Wyvern. Are they going to see him ward? Oh, he's taunting. But top, they also get the ward in the lane. I don't mind that ward. The only problem with a ward like that is never mind. It's not the Weaver lane. It's the. It would if the Weaver was top, I would have been concerned about a sentry being used to de-ward it. Bottom lane, I am a little bit concerned about that ward because usually people place a lane sentry against Weaver. So if you put a ward that's in range of a lane sentry, it just gets de-warded. But interestingly enough, even though it was a first round Undying, they have a safe lane Undying against 2 offlane strength heroes. So I feel pretty good about the top lane.
The Centaur Pudge lane against the Undying, and I think that's pretty favorable for the Undying right now.
I think that's a pretty big mistake, but by the rating. But they're actually just ditching the Pudge going mid, or where's he going?
Bottom possibly for first blood attempt.
It looks like they're actually swapping the support, so they're way ahead of us here. They thought the Undying was going to be bottom, so that's why the Pudge was... Oh, the lane swaps. Wow. Okay. I underestimated. Mid lane, Crystal Maiden looking to snipe the Courier. Actually going to run into Wyvern here, who has the Splinter Blast level 1, so he just right-clicks for a whopping 40. Some of the highest damage supports in the game, 41 from Wyvern and 43 from the Crystal Maiden.
Actually just teleports to bottom.
He's got no mana now on Crystal Maiden.
Yeah.
Undying bullying top lane, though. Ember already off to a good start.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that I think Dark is a very good mid laner in this league, and Skip is pretty high MMR. I think he's above 6k right now, and Skip couldn't keep up with him. And I think Brightside is significantly even less experienced as a mid laner, and also lower MMR, I believe, than Dark. So I think this may be rough for the Viper.
Yeah, we saw last game the mid lane. Oh, bottom lane, the hook. Weaver has Sakuchi though. We're good. But yeah, the idea of like how impactful the mid lane is this patch is pretty nuts. Like in the previous patches, There's the one where there's the extra creep mid, and then there's a stage where mid was like a 2v2, so the mid would usually be lower level than the carries in that patch. But we're back to this meta where if the mid laner, like if one mid laner wins pretty heavily...
Getting gone on right now in mid. Gives up first
I
blood.
was not expecting that lane to turn into a first blood. Thanks for the call. We just saw the Flame Guard level 1. But this is disaster, like in terms of... We saw it last game, happened where the TA was not only winning in CS, but also in...
Hook and X on the Crystal Maiden. They get a kill bottom as well.
Okay, T-Tours. BSJ, focus it up. I'm seeing the second one.
Is actually going to die. So.
I saw that one. 1 for 3, you know? Just like my GPA. Okay. So, I'm going to have to focus up. I didn't expect these lanes to have kills. I don't know how a Weaver dies against Ursa Pudge, but, you know, that's how it goes. Ursa feeling himself, Wyvern feeling himself. There's some questionable stuff going on here. And
Ursa had about 200 health, and he was right up next to that tier 1 tower. No self.
Yeah, he was real confident. You got to respect the balls on this man. You know, he may not be playing Wisp, but he's still got some balls. The Pudge goes for the hook, gets the level 2 Earthshock off. I don't think this is the right skill build on Ursa nowadays. That Overpower is just so powerful. It's overpowering, I would say, on Ursa at level 1 now, you know, for the memes. But the extra attack, you can actually kill almost every support like in one volley of attacks, plus maybe one extra attack. So usually I say on Ursa you should have 1-1-1, but enough of me critiquing Ursas in these games. Top lane, Centaur is pretty low, does have a salve. Ember has the haste rune mid. He's going. Got the Flame Guard. Doesn't have enough damage from the Viper's first attack. And the Ursa goes down bottom, and the Crystal Maiden does too. And I'm looking at the lane that happens to have no kill somehow with the haste rune Ember. And
I thought that 4 heroes were going to die there, honestly.
Yeah. So, looks like some heavy exchanges going on bottom lane. I really wish we had the production quality of TI where we had multiple lane cams going on at once, because that's the only way I can possibly cast this game. But we... Surprisingly, top lane going pretty decent for Centaur. He's trading evenly with the Mirana for CS against this Undying lane.
At the same time, though, bottom lane going a lot better for the Dire than last game. Pudge with the deny there, but I think what was the last engagement is CM for an Ursa. They're happy with that.
Yeah, you're good with that. Weaver has no regen on him right now, though. You can't gets salved by the Crystal Maiden. Thanks,
Way
buddy.
ahead of you again.
Yep. So mid lane, even though the Ember got the kill, it's not looking like last game. He's actually behind in levels and even on CS. So
I think it's just the matchup right now.
Yeah, for sure. But that's nice. So last game, it felt like a lot of the reason why they lost was how quickly the mid lane snowballed out of control and their own off lane, right? And in this game, that's just not happening.
Exactly.
So we'll have to see how these teams operate on even footing going into the mid game.
Oh, they're going in on the Crystal Maiden. They got the Rot Slow. Hook level 2, but Ursa not getting out of the way.
That was a nice play. Yeah. Gets the slow and then sidesteps his own teammates.
Pick up the kill on the Pudge, though. They do have a sentry, so for the throw.
Oh, the deny! And mid lane. No. They're diving with the Wyvern gank. And who's going to kill? Oh, he has level 6. Level it!
Wyvern can die.
Oh, we got him with the double kill. And then somebody else died too. No, we're good. We caught everybody.
That was everything we got.
I'm trying to keep up here, but top lane, Centaur is level 3. He's going to get a lot of levels under tower here. 5-minute bounty runes did come out. What was the split here? Looks like it's 2 for 2? No, 3. 3 for Dire. 4 for Dire. 4 bounty runes going to Dire. Oh my god, Centaur dies top. I'm done.
Too committed for that.
Bottom lane, hook onto the Crystal Maiden. Okay.
He's a hook magnet right now.
Okay. If you pick 3 cores that don't die to Pudge, then all Pudge has to do is hook the support. Up arrow on the misses. Okay. This game's intense. I wasn't ready for this mentally. I got a
lot of kills. You got 14 kills.
Yeah, that's 3 kills per minute. Going on the Weaver has no Sakuchi. 1 attack. Oh, the fade time still gets off. Okay.
Careful there.
Top lane. Okay, we're fine. Bottom lane. Back and forth. Mid lane. Okay, we're good. There's nobody even laning there on the side of Ember there, so.
Just happy with some jungling there, trying to get a 6. So, this Viper actually doing quite good in the lane right now. Look at the net worth, 500 or so ahead.
That is indeed quick maths.
I think Skip's team IKEA here, are a lot happier with the way these first 6 minutes have gone compared to last game.
Absolutely. Ember doing this whole dodge game thing where he shows up in lane with Flame Guard and then leaves to camp. I like his overall approach to this unfavorable matchup. Just make sure he doesn't like lose his tower, so he tries to push out the lane, but then he just stays as short a time as possible so he doesn't have to deal with that Viper. Feels like Viper's like way weaker in lane in general, but his like level 5, level 7 timings are like pretty huge nowadays with the way his orb works.
Has the Centaur hit? No, he's level 4. Okay.
Yeah, he's roughing it up here. Hero that has some pretty heavy sustain issues. Looks like Pudge going for the hook on mid. Gets the hook. He actually walks into it. Who's ganking who, though, is the question. I feel like this Viper...
Oh! TP out rooted by the chains. Does he get the kill, though? He does.
Gets it second, so no XP for the Viper. And the Pudge actually gets the Flesh Heap top lane. Gets the arrow onto Centaur. He's actually frozen up mid-stomp. I don't think that's the synergy you want. Weaver goes down somehow in the bottom lane. Again to an Ursa.
Centaur dies in the top lane as well.
I saw that.
Forward, trying to get the Wyvern, and they're going to find that. So what happened in the bot lane, I was watching, the Ursa got low. I don't know why Weaver tried to dive without time lapse, but the Ursa had Enrage, so as soon as the Wyvern got under the tower, just popped his Enrage and turned on him.
Got it. Yeah, the thing about Weaver against Ursa is if you mess up on Weaver, if you're not too familiar with the matchup, if anytime you overstep your bounds or you come out of Sakuchi in a range of Ursa where he can get on top of you, he actually kills you. Top lane.
Moving in. Gets the kill on
nice KS coming from the Centaur. I respect that there. He's like, I'm level 5, you're level 8, you can suck it. That's basically what he's saying here. But, boss, what? Another hook in the bottom lane. Jesus, I can't keep up with these guys. Dying super low in the top lane. Just TP out, bro! Oh, it had the slow. Dude, Wyvern got to... Oh, I mean, Centaur, Wyvern's going for it. He might get the kill. Only heals for 25. Might be enough, though. That 25 heal. Lived with 5 health.
Saved himself.
Wow, but Viper now, with the Rotato...
Out of position here.
In the words of Grant. Up the arrow! Sidesteps.
Are they going to actually be able to get this kill? I mean, they have to be able to get this kill, right? I mean, he does have the Cold Embrace, could bait something out. Actually goes the wrong way. Brightside. The jukes from the bottom. He's juking them. He's actually breaking. Oh my god.
No.
No way. They actually managed to get away with that.
My only problem with the Wyvern play there is he wasn't taunting on his way out.
Somebody has to clip that on. I need to send that to Brightside and skip.
Yeah. Send a message. You're not doing it to make the Wyvern feel good. You're doing it to make the other people feel bad.
My friends.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure. And I respect that notion. That's what Reddit Dota 2 is all about, I'm sure.
Wyvern's still here. He throws the arrow close range. It actually misses completely, so got the back off.
Mid lane taking a decent amount of damage, but Ember's actually just going to come back. He's level 9 as well as the Viper, so despite the unfair... Oh, top lane. We found it. We saw it. The deep dive with the Tombstone plus the Morana leaps. But despite the unfavorable matchup, he's just been being efficient in the jungle, rotating between lane and jungle. Crystal Maiden going to pick up both bounty runes again top. So they're actually getting... They've gotten all 8 bounty runes past the beginning of this game. Like, the 5 and 10 minute bounty runes have all gone to the Dire. And I think that's pretty much solely responsible for their 1K lead right now.
Yeah, they're doing a lot better because last time they lost 4 and then 3 or something like that. At one point, they got a 3. They only got 1 rune last time at the start, and then they lost 4 at the 10-minute mark as well.
Oh, Ember. Oh, used the Centaur ulti to help him get away. I mean, he had Remnants, but he hadn't had one laid out yet, so the Remnant, like, active would have been really slow. Haster and Top, Wyvern might have to take... Oh, dude, you could have just taken that, bro.
What? It's about the BMing, you know?
I mean, that's definitely about sending the message, but Centaur has no ulti top. They're looking at pressure. They have the Aquila. Turn it on! Rip.
Turn on the Aquila, Skip. Nope.
Now you gotta clip this and show them how, you know, when you're pushing towers. Aquila!
Now? No? Okay.
Now!
It's just, I guess it's just not
happening. It's passive Aquila, it's fine.
They're diving forward, but the Ember Spirit's already here. Gets the Sleight of Fist, gets the Shackle. Arrow does connect. Should have another Remnant forward, but he's out of mana. He's gonna have to Tread Swap if you want. Oh, Tread Swap? Okay. guess not going to have the tread stop, but he should be able to close the distance. Nope, another leap comes out. So now the Viper is here and has to Remnant back, actually. So Wyvern might be in a little bit of trouble. Zombies really stacking up. Gaff juking in the sideline here. Whoopi now. Also, okay, I guess this is the juke spot for the rest of the game.
Arrow! Oh.
Just too slow there.
Yeah, that was we'll call it everyone outskilling each other. That's what we'll call it there.
A little bit wacky there. No Aquila, no tread swap for the mana.
Yeah, everything was so high skilled that it looked low skilled. I think is what happened there. That's my analysis of that situation.
Oh, it was just pointed out to me. I just saw there's no nether toxin on this Viper right now. 0 points.
I've seen this before. It's not, I wouldn't say ludicrous, but
I think maybe with the magic res plus the hood, at least he's pretty much safe from Ember for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the only passive to break is really Ursa that's impactful, and Ursa hasn't really been involved, so maybe that's his idea. They have the Tombstone mid just dropped. This is saying, this is my town. Should be enough to secure mid. A little early, though. Marana's top.
Though.
Marana has no leaps left. Oh my god, you got Centaur ulti. You know he has no leaps. Mid lane.
On the Undying, he's going to actually go down. The Searing Chains onto 2 heroes. Drops the triple Remnant. BBTM with the Enrage. Should be able to find this. Now the Wyvern slow coming out.
Didn't even have to use Centaur ulti for that.
Yeah, they way overstayed. We saw them posturing for that, and Undying walked a little far forward, got caught. Full dismember, and I think that the other 2 heroes should have just left at that point.
Yeah, the problem with walking up and placing the tombstone like that so early is it declares to the enemy team, hey, we're going to push this tower 10 seconds from now.
On to Weaver.
Oh.
Not going to find it.
Okay.
It doesn't seem. They do have a sentry, though.
Yeah, Weaver, for the most part, is pretty unkillable bottom lane as long as he has time lapse. So if he ever dies, in my way of wording it, I don't die this game unless I mess up. So I'm not going to pay too much attention to Weaver bottom. He's just going to be hitting creeps for the most part. I think he should invest in some sort of regen item. He is going to go Shrine and he's going for a Maelstrom, but you want to be pressuring this lane, guys. This is my tool tip of the day. When all this stuff's going on mid, the enemy team has 3 heroes top and 2 heroes mid. You need to force it so they can't group up and gank your Mirana like this. And this has a lot to do with Weaver passively jungling. This would be me telling my teammate, stop hitting neutrals!
And he pinged the cliff, the little ward spot as the ward, but the ward's actually a little bit...
Oh, they might get the D ward with a sentry, but they might miss. Mid lane.
They might miss it if they put it too high up. Looks like they're not going to commit for this Ursa, and there's actually an invisible Pudge here on top of everyone. Gets the Dismember onto the Undying. They're trying to focus down this Pudge. Gaff actually with a huge heal there. The Winner's Curse onto the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden shouldn't go down to this, and they focus down the Tombstone. Oh! Connects onto the Crystal Maiden again, and now Ember Spirit is here. Pudge getting quite low, though, and he does die. Ursa also in trouble. Doesn't have the Enrage available, but the Searing Chains do connect. Time lapse back. Ursa dies.
Arrow.
Leap to an arrow, yeah. And now Dark in a lot of trouble, and actually turns out to be a pretty good engagement there for the Dire.
Yeah, suddenly these fights mid have been prolonged. That first fight by Dire was all a bait. They said, we're going to walk up.
Making them comfortable.
We're not going to bring enough heroes this time, and we're all going to die. But then they're going to think, wow, we beat them last time, so we're going to beat them again. And then they bring 4 heroes, 5 heroes, and they just win the fight. Bounty Rune's coming out. Whoopee.
Looking to get past it. Okay.
I think he knew he was in danger, but maybe he... I don't know what he's doing here, because I feel like he just dies anyway if they chase him with the Mirana, which they will. He has no ulti for another 8 seconds. And, sorry, some random tab came up on my computer, and we are chasing this.
They've committed the leaps already, but...
And they have no stuns, really.
They may be able to catch him. He does have a teleport.
Sure. Oh, that arrow! That's a big mistake. Just teleport!
Do it.
Teleport!
Okay, he's gonna try for...
Okay, it's fine. Nobody saw it. Okay, moving on. Yeah. We got Pudge set up in the mid lane. They did have a ward on the Dire that sees him. Mirana's invis. Oh, they dust it! No stuns to cancel unless the Crystal Maiden gets in range, which he does. Can't hook because of the zombies. Something that makes Pudge even worse against the Undying pick. And mid lane, or bottom lane, sorry. Ursa does have his blink pushing the tower while all of this is going on.
Building into the Basher, pretty standard stuff there.
Yeah. The extra overpower attack makes the Blink Basher build just so much better. When you have level 1 ulti and maxed Fury Swipes. I did the math. And why am I blanking on this? It's an extra 330 damage.
Wow.
For that one extra overpower attack. Yeah, the
oh, they do get the deny though. The Weaver gets the deny
with the enrage. Yes, it is a lot of damage that make that. So a lot of people are asking, why a hero like Ursa becomes so powerful with one change like that. Well, when it makes you have a build that Ursa usually has to have that critical threshold where he can or cannot burst you, and now he hits that threshold on a lot more heroes. Top lane looks like they're set up with the Ember plus Centaur. They have the Centaur ultimate. Have to be a little bit careful getting rooted up on the Ember. DD Crystal Maiden hitting like a truck, and they get the 2-man stomp. And they'll take the Mirana trade for the crystal, or for the, looks like a Centaur. Wyvern's in a little bit of trouble. He's going to go down as well. And I apologize, it's actually a little bit less than 330, but very close.
Yeah, they defended their tower. They did lose their Mirana, but they get the Centaur and the Wyvern and some XP on the Viper. I think it still feels pretty bad losing your position 1 like that, though. Or is that their, no, that is their position 1, okay.
Yeah. You're not too happy about that. Also because you're not getting anything off the kills, meaning you're just defending. And meanwhile, bottom and mid are both being pushed by the opponent. And the Ember's going for a Blade Mail. I don't actually mind this build at all. I like the more mid-game centric Ember Spirit build in general.
Pause now.
I feel like Ursa and the Radiant side, they should look to control Roche with wards as well as just in general the way they play, like with their hero distribution. So I don't mind that they have like a hero bottom, like the Pudge farming, getting himself some good levels. He has 10 Flesh Heap stacks, by the way, at 17 minutes into the game. But yeah, Roche is definitely another important objective anytime Ursa's in the game. And that's a lot of games this patch, because that hero's really good.
Oh, looks like they are ready. Actually, I will be back in 1 second. I do need to go open the door. So
we take no breaks here, so...
Hold on.
I'm kidding. See it in a bit. Game is back on. And this Viper has to be a little bit scared in the mid game here because he does not have a way to survive the Ursa. He does have like the break defensively, like he can lay it on top of himself, but until he gets like a 4-step, which he's going for, he really has no way to kite the Ursa. If Ursa jumps him with the blink. I don't think you have to be that scared in the mid lane here from the Ember. I think he could have forced that tower. But he did the right thing in terms of overall playing the game, but I think he could have executed it a little more ballsy. I don't think they can really kill him other than a Crystal Maiden Frostbite, and even then he could Sleight of Fist then Remnant, I think. Top lane, we have the ult from the Mirana, and the counter initiation from the Wyvern Curse gets the hook onto the Weaver into the Dismember, gets the invis off though. They can't. I think that's revealed by Dismember, but they are focusing the tomb with the Wyvern. But there's a lot of zombies. They're really racking up, and that's going to turn the fight in favor of the Dire. Whoopi is getting the whoopee from For the Thrills, and going to go down to Skip. Gets the double kill. 4-for-1 trade. Classic against the Undying hero. And this is what I'm talking about. If you have to play around Roche, and Roche is in the top half of the map, and the one hero that plays around Roche is your Ursa, and he's on the bottom half of the map, we're just not feeling good about that. Why aren't you with your team, bro? Team game.
So it looks like I missed a pretty... I historically have bad timing with leaving my chair.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. It's just a caster thing for sure. If you
I leave. One time I left, I lost a 5-man buyback to win, secure Skip's position into this game, and now I leave and looks like a 4-for-1 wipe.
Yeah, that was just a little bit over. Like, they didn't have the Ursa, and they took a 4-on-5, and they focused the Undying, who got Tombstone off, and then there's just a bajillion zombies, and that's life.
Nice 4K lead here for the Dire. Looking like Game 1 didn't affect them too much. That's always good to see.
Yeah, well, we are all about... we don't want to see 2-game stomps, right? Like, we don't mind if it's 2 games, but we don't want to see, like, one team looking demoralized from game 1.
Mental fortitude.
Yeah, mental fortitude, exactly. Expand my vocabulary a bit with that one. Bounty runes. Looks
he hooked
like...
the rune, actually.
Oh, there you go.
From the Dire, so nice hook play there. They will get 2 from Skip, though, so 2-2 split, I believe.
Weaver is applying pressure on the bottom lane. We'll get that tower for free. Basher up on the Ursa. In full at base. Looks like they're looking to take a tier 1 tower as well. Blade Mail will stud of the Ember.
Doesn't look like the Radiant want to defend this too much. If they do, then they got to start moving because they're all on the bottom half of the map.
I would really like to see this Ursa. The second that he sees 2 heroes at bottom lane hitting that tier 2, that he goes for Roche. That's what I want to see. And that's how you have to think about Ursa. And like we said, you know, I'm just commenting a lot on Ursa because he's in my hero pool. And they're actually TPing the Pudge bottom. So rather than playing around the Roche, they're choosing to take this fight. Different approach to Dota. That's fine. Looks like they're trying to go.
Though. Mirana leaping forward and leaping back, gets the ult off, dismembered under the tower, so not getting that invisibility. Whoopi with the stun. They should be able to find the kill, and they are now. Weaver getting low, also goes down, and a big 4-man wipe there.
Suddenly 4 for 0. Run back to Roche, Ursa! I'm sorry.
Is he going to?
This is a pretty big deal in my opinion. Whenever you take a fight as any hero, it's really important to think of objectives you can take during that time. And this is the problem. I get asked a lot on my stream about, you know, what's the difference between like ancient divine players and the immortal players, you know? And one of the biggest things I notice is the desire to hit creeps is high with you know, ancient and divine players. They wipe them, they take that 4-man team fight, and the general response is, let's go hit some neutrals, boys. And that's
you gotta go get those.
You gotta get objectives. Sometimes there's not an objective to get. But if you're in Ursa and there's 3 heroes dead for 40 seconds, you can blink your way back to Roche and it'll be dead. So, not a, you know, huge fan of that, but either way, they do take a good fight. Bottom, he goes for the kill bottom. Gotta go for the confidence. Oh, man, dude. You gotta go for the confidence and rage. You gotta have confidence, man. You don't believe in your own bashes. You gotta go for the enrage preemptively, otherwise you miss the kill.
He has no enrage now, and he's still here. There's
the bash!
He gets the first hit bash again. Skip goes down, Tombstone, lay down by Gaff, but I'm not sure if they want to take this fight.
The hook!
The Crystal Maiden.
No cancel.
Already casted there. Throws the Viper Strike onto the Pudge, but I don't think it matters now. This fight is looking pretty lost. Gaff getting low from the Urn and the Rot, and Viper, of course, just getting held down by the Winner's Curse. And it looks like they are going to be able to pick this up. Does get a nice Hurricane Pike off, but it doesn't matter. Weaver needs to leave, like, right now.
Oh, gets the stomp off.
Towards the end of the Scoochie.
Oh, but they Ursa blocked the hook.
Oh, they do get him with the
That's
hook,
all the debate. They didn't want to hook him. They wanted him to time-lapse in.
It's a style play.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody saw the hook block. I mean, Ursa was like, no. He knew that if the hook went off, it wasn't going to be a good kill. But if he blocks the hook, so that was.
You got the BM tips coming out too.
Yeah, we like that. We like that. So suddenly, as we're praising the Dire for mental fortitude and coming back in this game, they have managed to throw a 5K lead in a matter of minutes, and suddenly they're looking rough.
I want them to pull this out. I want a game through. I want Skip EST Sunday to just have a chance right now to finally win a season. They just took 2 pretty bad fights there. The Ursa knew exactly where the Mirana was on that initiation. Pretty lucky with the bash as well.
Yeah, I think he like autoed a creep or something is why he saw him. So
revealed himself. Yeah,
revealed himself briefly and already had the Fury swipes stacked up from the previous attack series that he tried to go in Mirana the first time. So the second time around,
there's a long time on that, right? Reset.
Yes, It used to be 15, and now it's 20. It's a significant difference actually. So it does make a difference, especially early on in the laning stage.
Do you think this Mirana, the 4-staff, the Hurricane Pike, is going to be worth it here? When she already has
I think you have to go for kiting against this lineup that they're against, but at the same time, it doesn't feel exactly good. I feel like my build would be something along the lines of like Maelstrom, Hurricane Pike, and a Manta, just because of the roots. And like the way I look at it is, I don't want to die to Ember Spirit chains and a hook. That's what I don't want to die to if I'm Mirana. So you have to buy either a BKB, Hurricane Pike, Manta, any combination of those things. And since you're also against Ursa, I actually think Hurricane Pike probably needed here. Because otherwise, it's rough. You don't want to have to expend leaps to get away from Ursa, because you also want to potentially be able to use your leaps offensively.
There's an Abyssal Blade now completed on the Ursa, so it's pretty much if he blinks on you, you're dead. And we might find his first victim here. Goes on Gaff, doesn't even have to use the Abyssal Blade, just instant kill on the Undying. Nothing you can do about that.
Yep, this is the power of Ursa when you get ahead at all like this. Is the minute the map control goes your way. I would really like that these guys may be just tuning into the stream and hear me begging this Ursa player to go hit that Roshan thing in the pit that gives them that second life. Bottom lane, Centaur in the dead lane. Will he feed? This is not Skip, who says he's noteworthy of feeding in the dead lane, but he does get bugged up. They know he's there, but they don't really have any initiation. They don't have a playmaking core. They have Weaver, Viper, Mirana. None of these heroes really make things happen. But
this is 4 heroes here for this Centaur kill. They throw the arrow off the mark. In fact, gets the stun, pops the ult, not able to be slowed there, and then look at all the arrows flying. It's not enough though.
And Pudge just
now we have a
TP's
dismember here on the Crystal Maiden, and
he's feeling himself.
Pudge,
Got the
man,
blade mail.
Pops the blade mail. Gets the hook onto Gaff as well. He will go down, but Skip is dead as well, and now this fight looks like it's going to be a little bit hard to take. They're going to be able to get the Ember Spirit, I believe. He does use a nice sleight of fist there, but it's not enough to keep him alive, and he does buy back on the Ember Spirit, so Ember Spirit should be back in the fight. Goes forward onto Mr. Brightside, and Mr. Brightside goes down now trying to take down the Tombstone, and I believe that Ursa just killed Crystal Maiden there for good measure, so...
Yeah, Wyvern didn't feel like cold embracing the Ember there. Wasn't really feeling the heal. Didn't think it was necessary. You know, just like, he's got it. He's fine.
So you got buyback, right?
Don't want this. Yeah, don't want this guy to get like a sense of confidence that he can't be independent, and do his thing. So once again, 3 heroes dead for a long time on the side of the Dire, and Ursa is bottom. Centaur has got the right idea. You're not the hero that's supposed to do this, sir.
Roche, solo it. Look at this.
He's got this. Return damage. Does it even apply to Roche? I don't know. I don't see the damage.
It is, I think. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's value.
He's actually returning. Yeah.
Wow. That's value. I think
all he needs is 2 hearts.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, 2 hearts, and then he just has to tank all of his health down and then wait for regen. Oh, Ursa blinks on to the Undying.
And again, Undying. There's the rotations. He doesn't have a TP, actually. Ursa maybe in a little bit of trouble. Does have the Enrage available. They actually go in with the blink from the Ember Spirit. Gets the Shackles, Crystal Maiden, 4 staffs away. Does have her ultimate available. Will
focusing the Mirana.
Embrace. Mirana dies, and look, he gets what kind of hook was that? Through 3 heroes to get the hook onto the
This
Viper.
is why 100% Pudge win rate, sir.
Exactly. Yeah, this was comfort pick right here. Vanilla Acoustic doing his best to survive, but he's undoubtedly going to die. That Mirana, they focused the Mirana very well there.
Yeah, and it's just, honestly, this game looks incredibly grim for Dire, not only because they're down by AK, but they're not the team with the superior team fight. So if you are down by this much, the other team has immense pickoff with this Ember Spirit, Ursa, Pudge, idea of these 3 heroes, and then you don't have superior team fight. I don't exactly see how you come back despite a throw from the Radiant. So we need to see some nice tier 4 dives, I think, from the Radiant here. We give him a chance. Weaver is going to be split pushing, though, like you mentioned.
Yeah, they're going to lose the racks for this, though. There was no buyback on the Mirana. I mean, maybe if they kill the Ember, Ember has no buyback, they can turn it into a good fight and maybe take Roche themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Actually, the blink from the Ursa actually killing Skip, 52 seconds, no buyback on the Mirana, dismembering the Undying, but he gets 4 staff to safety. The Tombstone really starting to add up, but they will focus it down. Centaur ultimate for the disengage, or are they re-engaging? It looks like Ursa wants to have a bit more of this Undying. The 2-man shackle from the Ember Spirit, and it looks like that's enough for them.
Oh, but they're actually, they took tier 3 with the Weaver, so that's not
bad. Not
completely lost, but obviously not good. Please hit Roche. Sorry. Moving on.
To it. That
he actually just hates Roche. Like, if you're an Ursa player and you're having this much impact and you just haven't taken Roche at this point, you are declaring that you think Roche is just a chump. You don't like this guy. He's a chump. But he's going to die now. You've decided he's finally his turn to die. And looks like they're ready to contest. Will they be there in time? Smoked up from the Dire. No Mirana. Does he have a TP?
Does have a TP,
he
though.
does.
The Shrine is available still, so maybe able to enrage his pop, though.
I think you have to fight either way, even if they get the Roche.
Smoke is broken already. Vanilla Acoustic, they know that they're here. And he will actually blinks into the backlines, trying to find the Weaver. Vanilla Acoustic TPing out already. Weaver with the time lapse. The TP actually canceled there by the Winner's Curse, so Crystal Maiden will die.
And
I mean, the idea was correct, I guess.
Yeah, just a little bit slow. That's the thing about Ursa, right? As a Roshing hero, is he just finishes it really fast. So it's really hard to get there in time. They got to just push out the top lane, I think, on the Radiant, and then they can march down. They are taking the Shrines, which is good. They went for the Deso on Ursa, so he's really feeling confident. They gave the Aegis to Ember.
Yeah, Ember has no buyback, so I guess maybe
makes sense.
Have buyback? He does. So yeah, they just want to make sure that he has his 2 lives for this fight.
He is pumping out the damage on Ursa with maxed overpower. You do 630 damage per volley. Or
The Ember
sorry,
also went
no,
for the
more than that.
full Mjolnir.
Did he really?
Yeah, so he's
Oh
throwing it
yeah.
on himself on top of the blade mail, on top of the flame guard. So you can't even turn on this hero right now.
Yeah, that's scary. They don't actually have a core that can ignore blade mail. Heroes like Ursa and Ember aren't really. They don't have problems with blade mail, but heroes like Mirana, Weaver, Viper, they actually just have to stop hitting you if you're blade mail. Blink in from Pudge, aggressive. Didn't hit, but you miss every hook you don't throw. Ursa waiting casually in the back lines. The break does prevent that Centaur return damage onto the tower.
That's what they were thinking about. They were
Yeah.
thinking 31 minutes, we're going to lose our second set. Actually, Gaff gets hit by the
Tomb.
ultimate. The Dismember attempt gets hit by the arrow, immediately canceled. Tombstone is down. Ursa trying to focus down skip. Force staff, but it won't save him. 54 seconds, no buyback for this Mirana, and now they're focusing down the Tombstone. Wyvern still has the Winter Curse available. It looks like he's not going to use it yet. Viper going to get focused down by both cores of the Radiant side, and he does die. He does have the buyback, but the shackles into the hook from the Pudge. Nice team play there, and Weaver also has no buyback.
The
Oh,
offensive
that was
tips.
rough. Yeah, they're on it with this one. Wow.
Oh!
Tips. Oh.
All onto
No,
one
actually,
player. This is the Jackie Lamau factor. But they might be diving a bit
pretty
deep.
aggressive. They have the Dismember and Crystal Maiden letting it go, but it's for zoning. He pops the Enraged, Winter's Curse as well. Why not? Looks like Viper will be killing Vanilla Acoustic here, and Viper himself should be going down, and it's looking grim now. 90 seconds since he already bought back.
You got this, Crystal Maiden. We believe.
Go
Hold the
for
fort.
it. They're all low. You got it.
Hold the fort. Sell everything. Buy Dagon. First one of them. Up. Ember just gives up the
What
Aegis.
happened there? Oh,
He
okay.
just willingly gave it up.
Oh, the arrows just mistimed.
Oh, he actually hit the Centaur with it though. But I don't think that's what he was going for.
They're gonna do the leaps forward. They should be able to get the Centaur kill.
Whew.
It's
20k
something.
lead,
Ursa
20 kill lead, 2 lax lead. Ursa feeling himself.
has no Abyssal. The mana burn from the Weaver, keeping him from being able to Abyssal. Looks like he's actually going to feed this away. Ember jumps forward onto the Mirana. This Mirana seems so squishy right now. Basically, if any of these cores jump her, she just dies.
Radiant attempting to make this an interesting game in the best way possible.
They want a game 3.
Yeah, they want a game 3. They're like, you know, we could win this game easy, so if we just let them win, we can just have more screen time. Easy series win anyways.
20,000 net worth lead now. Wow. I'm actually very surprised to see Skip dying so much. This Mirana has been one of his... Usually when they lose a game, the next hero they pick is either the Mirana or the TA for Skip, and he balls out usually on the hero. He has very strong performances, but...
Based on the fact that he's in the finals, he's usually winning.
Yeah, he's
But,
usually
yeah,
winning
yeah.
off of those picks, but yeah, it's actually...
Mid lane.
I guess
Oh,
weird
doesn't
for me
get
to
it.
see him doing so bad right now.
For sure. Ember Spear does have the crit now, so he's pumping out a lot of damage. We'll have an Invis Rune if he chooses to bottle it, which he does. Pudge has a full pipe. The damage mitigation coming out from Radiant with the Crimson Guard plus the pipe is insane. So they already have limited damage. Weaver, Mirana, Viper, none of them really known to be ridiculously high damage cores. Goes for... Oh, he has the Sperm Arrow. I haven't seen that in a while.
Arrow,
Pudge
isn't it?
blinks in.
And they actually get the two-man shackle there from the Ember, and this already looks like a lost fight. Mirana going down very early. Gaff trying his best to fight with the Tombstone, really adding up, but it's not enough. Gaff is dead for 50 seconds. Crystal Maiden with a good ultimate, but canceled quickly by the Ember Spirit. The Tombstone, though, double tombs from the death. Really starting to add up. It looks like Pudge will go down. Brightside focused by the Winter's Curse, but the zombies just overwhelmed the Winter Wyvern, and now the blink forward from the Ursa. They are still trying to kill this Tombstone. Whoopi, I think you give this up. Chooses to die instead. And there is a dust here on For the Thrill, so they do have vision. Ursa finally taking down the Tombstone. Crystal Maiden coming back with the Frostbite. The BKB popped by the Ursa. It looks like the Ursa's trying to move forward, but the Force Staff, but he manages to catch him with the blink, and the Bash will put him away. And it looks like the buybacks coming out from the Undying and the Winter Wyvern there.
Don't take that bounty rune, Wyvern. Don't you dare. Don't do it!
He did it.
You did it. Okay. That's my favorite thing when I'm a core and I'm like pinging. I have a bottle with 0 charges, and the support just walks up and takes the bounty rune.
And he has the bottle in his inventory too, instead of the Aquila. He's like, hey, I'm going to walk into a bounty here. Psych.
Psych.
No bounty.
No bounty. But he has
Sells
the
the
full
bottle,
data list
actually.
complete. Yeah, he didn't want that. That's him and Wyvern on the same page.
Yeah,
He's
slot
like,
inefficiency.
yeah, exactly. But another fight that went poorly for Radiant in regards to like how far ahead they are. It's really just because they don't have the Ursa. I think he was dead during the start of that fight. So I think they win every single fight that Ursa jumps somebody. So they just have to let that happen, I think.
Yeah, the amount of zombies that actually added up during that fight was ridiculous. I think Centaur and Wyvern basically just died to zombies.
Yeah, so a little bit overzealous. It's really important for people like, the Pudge blinked in really aggressively there. They've been winning every fight, so it makes sense to you, like, subconsciously, we're going to win every fight, so every time I see a fight that I can potentially create, I'm going to do it. But the reason they've been winning fights is because Ursa blinks in and jumps somebody when the Pudge goes in. So just got to wait for that. The Ursa has level 25, took the AoE Earth Shock. Not a huge fan of that myself. I think the status resistance is insanely good. But he still is
maybe they're
ridiculously
so far
survivable.
ahead.
Yeah, he's ridiculously survivable. I don't think it really matters. I think, like...
Double damage here on the Ember as well with the completed data list. So this is a bash from... This guy's a bash lord, honestly.
Easy. It's a good practice. He clearly has played a lot of Ursa. He just doesn't think about Rush.
Yeah, they whiffed both initiations there. The Centaur stun off the mark and the Pudge not finding its target either. And Weaver does need to be careful here. In fact, the Ember Spirit blinks in,
blinks into the arrow on Ursa.
Shackle and gets stunned, but now the Mirana getting hooked, getting dismembered. Does Mirana have buyback? She does have the buyback available. Gets stomped by the Centaur, is forced to buy back. Crystal Maiden down as well for 70 seconds, and they are just going to chunk this tower. That's 3 heroes.
Oh, that Air Shock AoE.
What is Mirana going to be able to do? In fact, the aggressive blink forward from the Pudge and the hook as well. That damage from the double, I believe that is a double sleight of fist. Yeah, this is...
Wow.
This is over.
4,000 HP Pudge with 2 strength from the urn.
It's concerning when they take turns jumping into your tower when the first initiation fails, so then they try again, and they try again.
They're just fishing. Yep, eventually one of them's going to land. And now they're going in. They get the stomp. No detection. Buys the dust from the base on the Pudge. Heads up play. Enrage. Has the enrage duration. Talent. And that looks like all she wrote, folks.
Oh, man. EST Sunday. Can't win. Feels bad.
Yeah, it was looking pretty good for them. I feel like they had what they needed to happen. Like the first game, it felt like it was a bad landing stage. So, and they weren't quite able to recover. This game, they were actually up by 4 or 5K at like 20 minutes. And then they took 2 bad fights. And suddenly the lead was in favor of the other team within like 3 to 4 minutes. So when you fall behind, like... The way I look at these lineups in general with Dota is if you fall behind and you don't really have playmakers, it's really hard to come back in the game. In the first game, they had the Storm Spirit, so they were still able to make some plays. They were able to kill like the Wisp Gyro and stuff. But in this game, your only stun and initiation is your Crystal Maiden. So it's fine if you're ahead because you can kind of just force fights on your own terms and you're just tanky or whatever and you deal out the damage with your heroes. But when you're behind and all you have is a Crystal Maiden to initiate, it's pretty hard to come back in the game. So... pretty rough once they fell behind at around 25.
I was really surprised to see them. They got the lead. They took kind of a bad fight in that mid lane where the Undying walked in. Then they took a good fight, and then they took just a disastrous like 4-man wipe for a tier 2, doing some weird diving on that Centaur. And what was it, like 7K net worth like change? Like
it was in 2 fights. In 2 fights, it was 2 fights that were like back to back in like 2.5 minutes. Each fight was worth like 3,000 or 4,000 gold. And you'll see it in the graphs if we look at it. Yeah, ugh.
It was rough. Oh, they had it. The thing is, it's like, and even then with that 5K lead, like looking at the graph, it wasn't huge, but the throw was. They ended up falling so much farther behind than they were ever ahead in minute and a half. Yeah,
the important thing is that Dota's not black and white. Sometimes a team that like if I'm looking at this game and Radiant's down by 2K, 3K. They have a chance to come back because they have crazy initiation, damage, so like anytime they catch Dire with their pants down, they just get the kills. But like, if Radiant's ahead, Ursa can enrage pretty much everything in the game, so if you go on him, he'll just push R. If you go on anyone else, like Ember Spirit has Remnant, and the only way to stop that is your Crystal Maiden. So it's like, there's just different and comeback potentials in every lineup. So... if you're up by 5K in this situation on IKEA, you have to maintain that lead. Otherwise, the game becomes really hard the second you fall behind. So
Yeah. Do you think that both games they kind of also lacked like that hard catch?
yeah, I mean they had the storm the first game, but the
Yeah.
problem was he
So
lost
far
his
behind.
lane. Yeah, like when he's so far behind and your only catch, your only playmaker is that far behind, then it starts to feel like you have no catch again. So it's something you have to be concerned with whenever you first round your supports and you pick like Crystal Maiden Undying. It's like those are fine heroes. It's not like they're bad heroes, but you have to be weary that if you pick those type of heroes, you have to consider in your draft like we need the ability to start fights on our own terms. We need to make it so that the Ursa or Ember Spirit is scared to play the map. You know, like they can't just walk down lanes with impunity. They're not afraid of anything. Like Ember Spirit, even though he has a rough start because he's in like that matchup, he can just he can just flame guard waves and flame guard camps, and like all he has to do is reactionarily rim it out. So that was why I wasn't a huge fan of the Viper pick. I think in the draft
Yeah.
is you needed like a playmaker. You needed something with a stun. And you also needed something that could kind of carry you. So I was thinking something like Al could be a bit better. Obviously, they have like heroes to deal with you, but I'm just naming a hero that you need a hero that carries and stuns. I think is what they needed. So,
Yeah.
but
Also, when you see it, like basically any hero on the Radiant side just can either start a fight, and we even saw them stagger their initiations. Like, oh, Ursa failed the initiation. All right, well, we got
yeah,
Centaur. You know, we got Pudge. We got Ember getting consistent shackles off of the sleight of fist. Honestly, like very nice two-man shackles almost every time, and he'd always get them close. So you would always have the follow up either from the Ursa or the Centaur, and it was kind of a mess once the heroes were caught. The lack of peel and their own counter initiation just kind of
Peel,
ended up hurting them.
Kyle, Peel.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
we coined the Peel, the Dangler, the Reach. You know all
oh, I
these
mean, yeah,
terms.
peel is, you got to have someone to peel off the fight. You get
Yeah,
initiated
I
on,
mean
you
they
got
all
to
make
kick somebody the hell
sense. For
out.
whatever
Yeah, they
reason,
do.
people get real upset about those terms. It's like Dangler, you're
Really?
just
People get
dangling.
upset
Yeah,
about peel?
yeah,
I thought
like
that was a
they're
pretty
like
common
that's
term.
no, that's what I thought too. And out of all the terms, I
Really?
thought it was pretty common. But like whenever I say peel, people are like banana. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I mean, dangler
Um,
maybe is a little bit like you got to explain it, but having peel seems pretty.
Yeah, and I feel like reach is self-explanatory too, but people also, they need their like, what's the difference between reach and initiation? I'm like, initiation is like a blink stun. Reach is like a storm spirit chasing you from 2,000 range. That's reach. But
Yeah. I was
um,
asked
yeah.
to ask you if if you had the time to have a short post game interview with the winning team or at
Oh,
least the
sure,
captain.
sure,
Um, so before I'm not sure how it's going to work. I'll ask Matthew now if you want to message
yeah,
him yourself.
yeah. I mean, go ahead and ask him, and we'll figure out,
Yeah,
whatever we're.
I'll wait to see if he's gonna join in or but again, for anyone that joined on the tail end of that fight, if you don't mind me explaining a bit again
Yeah,
about
go
the league.
ahead. That's what we're here
Um,
for.
yeah, because people in the beginning, middle, start. So anyone that didn't catch the little infomercial in the middle or the start of the stream, RD2L is the Reddit Dota 2 league. We are it's just a player draft league. Anyone can sign up. You can also sign up to captain, although there is a floor. And I did get verification from an admin. The admin floor is, or the captain floor is Legend 1, but it can be overcome with a vouch. So say, there's always people that play above their badges, or they're a known good captain or a known PMA player that's just a fun guy to be with. You can get vouched in as a captain. It's just a league. It's kind of, it's an amateur league, but we do try hard. It's not like you don't just come in and mess around. People do like winning, and they enjoy trying out drafts and strategies. There, you sign up as a player, and then there's a draft date. The captains will pick you, and the order goes lowest MMR captain to highest. So usually there's a pretty good average across all the teams. Sometimes there is disparity. Some people mispick, and I think somebody picked somebody that maybe should have gone fourth round, like second this season, and it threw off their whole team. But for the most part, games are pretty even, and it really comes down to how much effort you put in, how much you scrim, how much you want to try. And so it's a good place for people to be, because you can try as much as you want, but you can also take it more casually while still having like that captain's mode experience that you usually wouldn't get. And goes on for about 8 weeks. I think it's 3 months total. It's an 8 week BO2 group stage, and then what we just saw was the grand finals of the playoffs. And the BO2 is played once a week on a set date. There's EST Monday, EST Sunday, PST Sunday. There's also 2 Euro divisions, and then there's Flex. But Flexes don't play interdivision. They play their own playoffs. The interdivision would be the PST, the EST, Monday and Sunday, I believe. And the best part about the league, like you noticed in your Twitch chat, all the memes and stuff coming out. It's a bit of a community. Um, people get to know each other. You know, they make friends. Like my entire NADCL stack is people that I met in the RD2L in the RD2L community. So, you know, you can take it as seriously or, you know, as relaxed as you want. Everyone's welcome to play. You'll never get benched because of the 6-player, every player has to play rule. And yeah, it's just a fun time. I mean, you're not going to have, you know, pro level Dota, but that's not what it's for. It's an amateur league.
I mean, I feel like the major thing with Dota right now, and I'm just going to feed off of what you're saying here because there's been some people in chat that explain or like that express some doubts or whatever, and obviously nothing's perfect. But I look at this, and a lot of the doubts I've seen is like, you know, why would a Immortal player queue up for this league or, you know, that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
like what, you know, why would I waste my time or whatever? And I'm just looking at it as I see. The lowest player in this game was a legend. Everyone else was ancient. So like I actually saw pretty like or ancient or better. Like there were like legends, ancients. Was 1 mortal and like 5 divines in this game or something, like 4 divines. Everyone's pretty high MMR from what I saw. And also like it's only 2 games a week. So the idea behind the league is it's 2 games a week, and I think the major issue people have with that they complain about with Dota is that you go into your pubs and all we wish we could have is 5 players that are actually trying to win a game of Dota. Like that's the problem with pubs, right? Is like you just go in with random people and you're just banking on hoping your team will try, you know?
Your fate isn't in your own hands.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a matter of like having way better players in your games. I just like the idea of, you know, having some way of making it so people actually give a crap about playing Dota. So even if it's not the cleanest or highest level of Dota, it's still, from what I see, like, you know, the teams are still trying to work together. You know, even if you don't have to scrim or anything like that, you're at least like, it's basically a pub with people you get used to playing with a bit, and you get to try. So yeah, friends
people
too.
will get better. Like you said, if a lower MMR player, like, why should I sign up? Am I just going to get benched or not? Everyone's going to get to play. You'll learn from your higher MMR players. As always, like there's no better way to learn than to actually experience a match with somebody better than you. And a lot of times, you know, you'll have people that progress. Like some people will get picked, for example, at like I think somebody on Skip's team was like Legend 3 and ended up at Ancient 4, I believe, at the end of the season.
There you go. Nice.
So I mean, it's a good way to learn the game as well. And you know, if you're interested, the signups, like I had mentioned before, are being extended because of this cast and the potential audience that it will be reaching. They are extended until I believe Friday night, so 12 a.m. on Saturday, and a full day. So you have a day. Look it up, and it's rd2l.gg. And there is also a subreddit, which is reddit.com/r/Reddit Dota 2 League. And I believe that Dark is ready for us, if you don't mind.
Cool. Where are we going?
Bringing him in. I think, can I invite him to this call?
Yeah, I believe you can.
Okay, how do I do that? Add friends. Dark. Here.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Is he in yet? I think it's ringing.
Oh, I thought it was in. It looks like it's just ringing, yeah.
Yeah, it's just ringing.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Congratulations to the winner here.
Thanks,
How are you feeling?
Well, just kind of, I don't know, just kind of happened.
Nice.
We're really that hyped, I guess. I don't know, just kind of.
That's the spirit we're looking to have here. Which hero were you in this game? Sorry?
I was the Ember and the TA.
Gotcha, yeah. So, it felt like the first game you had a pretty favorable lane. You snowballed that one. In the second game, even though it wasn't the best matchup, you got the kill, and then you recovered pretty well. So it felt like you were able to have pretty high impact in this game. Did it feel like were you surprised by the Viper pick, I guess?
I was extremely surprised by the Viper pick. I honestly thought that it was a bottom mid, and they ran this weird tricore with like no stuns the first game, so I was kind of thinking maybe they would pick some hero like that. But,
so that's that went into your Ember pick when you're like, hey, I can just pick Ember and they have no stuns.
Yeah, it kind of did go into the Ember pick. I also banned SF because I thought that would be more of a detrimental matchup. And I think Viper's pretty terrible in this meta, so I wasn't really that afraid of it, even though it came out last pick.
Nice, yeah, that's about what I said when I was casting the game. I don't know. I felt like my question for you: are you the captain, or are you just like the drafter, or like how does how does the
Yeah,
communication go here?
Yeah, I'm the captain, but well, I would say I'm a little bit more quiet in game. I
Gotcha.
mostly just play around my timings mid, and I'll tell the team like, "Hey, let's go. I'm TA. Let's go to Roche. Let's go take this tower." Blah blah blah.
So what's it take to get your boy Ursa to do that same thing? Walk into the Roche pit. We were talking about it. Felt like for whatever reason you guys would get a team wipe. They're all dead for like 40 seconds, and no Roche was attempted.
I honestly, I was more playing the game where I was like, okay, we'll just delay until we get our core items, and we're just gonna win. And I honestly didn't even think about it, even though the fact that we had an Ursa is pretty telltale that we're just gonna go do Roche when we win a fight. And apparently, other teammates on our team, one of us was BMTS, is usually more of our shot caller. He was the girly boy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Please explain the name BBMTB BM whatever. Is that just a combination of both players' names? That's what we thought it was.
that's
Okay.
basically
Was
just
that planned, or was that actually their names, or did they change their names to make that team name?
Oh no, those were their names before the draft, and I realized that after I drafted them. I'm like, hey,
Okay.
this is extremely confusing. Why don't I make it more confusing?
Nice. I like that
Even
approach.
during the season, we would always call BBTM BMTS and BMTS BBTM by accident.
You're just BBs. That's what you were.
Yeah, we were
Team
you were the
BB.
BBs.
But apparently, BMTS was calling for Roche a lot, and his mic was accidentally muted. So that was
Nice. That makes sense. Yeah, we were really confused about everything else in the game plan. Made a lot of sense. It just, other than the Roche, we were wondering how many fights it would take for you guys to be like, we're just gonna go hit Roche now.
we did it eventually.
You did eventually. You got there.
I think that was after we took racks.
Yeah, it was after like 1 or 2 lanes of racks that you're like, okay, it's time.
What we're going for. But,
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's all good, man. Congratulations for the win. Any last words or final comments about the league itself or teammates, shout-outs,
Just shout outs to all my teammates. It was a great season. Honestly, had an amazing time this season.
You guys had a good run. It was fun to watch.
And just shout out to the league, honestly. It meant a lot of my best Dota friends through this league and would recommend it to anybody. I started off in this league. I think I was 3K when I first joined, and now I'm like 5.4 or whatever. So it's honestly great for lower MMR players to improve and higher MMR players to meet like-minded higher MMR players, make stacks. Just a good time.
Right on. Yeah, we were just talking about the subject here was mentioning the friendship aspect and community and the memes and all that kind of stuff, and plays off the Reddit. Yeah, it seems like it with the BM tips and everything, man. Congratulations again. Thanks for coming in for the winter interview.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Hope to see you next TI as a player, man.
Oh, I hope so too.
See you.
Well, does that about wrap it up, or do we have any more announcements or such?
I believe that about wraps it up. Just
Cool.
want to reiterate that the signups were extended. So
Yeah, you
if
have till tomorrow.
Yep, you got till tomorrow. So if you just tune into the stream or you missed the part, it's rd2l.gg for the signups. Extended a full day. If you are Legend 1 and above and wish to have maybe your first time experience captaining a team, you can also sign up for a captain. We could always use more captains. The more captains there are, the less players get cut off. Everyone has a great time. If you're lower MMR, feel free to sign up as well. You're guaranteed to play at least 1 game a week out of a best of 2 series. And the subreddit would be, again, our /Reddit Dota 2 League. So be sure to check there for any news and announcements. And that's all I've got. If you don't mind, I got a couple of shout outs at the end here.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Shout out to my girlfriend who's been watching this whole time, actually. Big fan of Dota. I got her into Dota, and now she supports me and wants me to keep trying to cast. It's fun. If you enjoy, and you join the league, I will be casting a lot of games. Primarily just cast RD2L. I haven't, obviously gotten to anything else, but if you don't mind me plugging my Twitch.
You'll have to submit the fee afterwards, but go ahead.
Oh,